Chapter 133, Shadow, Chaosia. 1. Returning to the welcoming immortals inn, Yang Lei and Elder Gu entered the heaven-ranked room. Tell me, little Lei, why exactly did you come looking for me today? Don't tell me you just came to drink with me? As soon as they sat down, Elder Gu asked again. Yang Lei shook his head and said, of course not. Actually, I came to see you, Elder Gu, about this assassin business. You knew they were coming to kill you? Yang Lei nodded lightly. I knew. Before, a silver-ranked assassin came to kill me, and I dealt with him. That guy's cultivation had already reached the martial emperor realm. I was worried they'd send out even more powerful experts, which is why I sought your protection, Elder Gu. Seeking my protection, haha. You've got a good idea there, kid. The Heavenly Star Tower's assassins aren't that foolish. Unless you follow me every day, it'd be nearly impossible. Those people are too difficult to deal with. They won't easily make a move without an opportunity. That gold-ranked assassin died this time because he underestimated you, that's why he met his end, Elder Gu shook his head and said. So, there's no other way? Yang Lei asked. There is. You can find a martial god-level bodyguard. Yang Lei was speechless. A martial god-level bodyguard? Was that so easy to find? Though he did have one before, but he'd managed to chase them away, Alright, what you're saying is practically useless. If I had that capability, what would I have to worry about? Besides that, is there any other method? There's also finding a place to hide for a few years, then coming back out, Elder Gu said with a chuckle. Yang Lei couldn't help but roll his eyes. A few years? Would he still need to fear them then? What a joke. He'd be strong enough to directly wipe out their den. Grandpa, has little brother Lei arrived? At this moment, a clear and pleasant voice drifted in. Over here, Elder Gu said. Little brother Lei, call me big sister, Gu Jing shouted as soon as she entered, facing Yang Lei. Yang Lei rolled his eyes and said, wait until you defeat me in the Cloudwind selection, then we'll talk. I will definitely defeat you. Just you wait, I'll definitely make you call me big sister. Gu Jing said, shaking her fist. Yang Lei chuckled but didn't reply, instead turning to Elder Gu and saying, Elder Gu, then I'll be leaving now. Do you have a way to deal with them? Elder Gu asked, seeing Yang Lei about to leave. If you stay here, I can still look after you a bit. Yang Lei shook his head and said, it's fine. Since there's no way to prevent it, then I'll just have to meet challenges as they come. I understand, you don't need to worry. As long as they don't send out Martial Saint-level experts, I can still escape to save my life. Alright, wait a moment. Take this. It might help you at a critical juncture. Elder Gu took out a talisman and handed it to Yang Lei. A true spirit talisman? Yang Lei gasped in alarm. This true spirit talisman was no ordinary talisman. Such talismans contained a trace of a martial god expert's true spirit. At a critical moment, crushing this true spirit talisman could summon that martial god expert's true spirit to fight. This trace of true spirit possessed the cultivation of a martial saint at grand perfection, but only for 30 minutes. Your eyesight isn't bad. This talisman contains a trace of my true spirit. If you encounter a martial saint expert, crush it. It can help you resolve one crisis, Elder Gu said with a smile. Elder Gu, this is too precious. I can't accept it. Yang Lei clearly understood how incredibly precious this true spirit talisman was. Consuming a trace of a martial god expert's true spirit would require at least 1 or 2 years to replenish. This showed just how valuable the true spirit talisman was. Elder Gu hadn't said anything yet, when Gu Jing spoke up, if it's given to you, just accept it, don't dilly-dally. What if you kick the bucket? Where would I find another little brother like you? Right, Jinger is. Correct. If it's given to you, just accept it, don't dilly-dally, it's not very manly of you, Elder Gu said. Alright, then I'll accept it. Thank you, Elder Gu. Seeing Elder Gu speak like that, Yang Lei no longer refused. This was a life-saving measure, who would despise it? Exiting the inn, Yang Lei intended to go check on Zhang Yi, to see if his chief master had already left. After walking a short distance, he discovered a commotion ahead. Leading the group, naturally, was Yang Tian. The other two could be considered acquaintances, one was Yang Tianhe, and the other was Yang Tianhua. The three were aggressively kicking and beating a scrawny, small child. From his attire, he was likely from a poor family. Told you had no eyes. Told you to steal my money pouch. I won't be satisfied unless I beat you to death. Kick this brat to death. The three of them, one kick after another, had already beaten the person until blood spewed from the corner of his mouth. Yang Lei raised an eyebrow, unable to watch any longer. Looking at this child, it triggered memories hidden deep within his mind. Not long ago, he too had been bullied and humiliated like this, enduring such pain and disgrace. Stop. Who? It's you, Yang Lei. This has nothing to do with you, don't meddle in others' affairs. Yang Tianhua and the other two looked at Yang Lei, a hint of fear in their hearts, but they still mustered their courage. Let the child go, then leave. Yang Lei didn't say much, his gaze cold as he looked at the three of them. Yang Lei, don't meddle. Yang Tian said. He stole my money pouch. A beast like him deserves to be beaten to death. What right do you have to interfere? Recently, Yang Yu had returned, so Yang Tian had grown bolder. What's more, Yang Lei had been driven out of the valiant king's estate, greatly diminishing their fear of him. Yang Lei cast a cold glance at the three of them, then said in a frigid voice, "Scram. Do you want me to say it again? Get lost now, or I'll make my move." As he spoke, Yang Lei unleashed his aura, pressing down on the three of them. Yang Tian and his companions immediately felt their breathing constrict. Seeing that it was enough, Yang Lei retracted his aura. Yang Tian's face darkened. He waved his hand and said to Yang Tianhua and Yang Tianhe, "Let's go." Watching the three leave, Yang Lei walked over to the child, helped him up, and examined his injuries. 3 of his ribs were broken, he was quite seriously hurt. Yang Lei hastily took out a foundation cultivation pill and had him swallow it. Only then did the child's complexion improve slightly. "Are you all right now?" Suddenly, the child knelt down, his bright eyes fixed on Yang Lei as he said, "Please accept me as your disciple." Yang Lei was stunned. This kid wanted to become his disciple? What a joke. He himself was only 16 years old. And the boy didn't look small either, he was probably 15 or 16, but due to malnutrition, he appeared pitifully scrawny. Chapter 134, Shadow, Chausia. 2. You wish to take me as your master? Look at my age. Isn't this a joke? Quickly, stand up. I won't take disciples, at least not until I'm 30. Yang Lei shook his head and said. No, if you don't accept me, I won't rise. His tone was extremely resolute, and a flicker of resolve appeared in his eyes. Do you wish to cultivate martial arts? Yang Lei looked down. This person's cultivation was merely at the 9th stage of qi refinement, and their aptitude seemed quite good. However, they possessed a dark affinity, which somewhat surprised Yang Lei. People with dark affinity were relatively rare. They nodded lightly. I beg you, please teach me to cultivate. First, stand up. This is not the place to talk, Yang Lei said after a moment's thought. You've agreed? He looked at Yang Lei in pleasant surprise. Yang Lei said nothing, but turned and left. This time, Yang Lei did not go to Zhang Yi's shop again, but returned directly to Xixing residence. First, go bathe and change your clothes, then come. See me. Yang Lei gestured for Xia Zhu to fetch a clean set of clothes, and had him go wash up. About 10 minutes later, a figure emerged from the room. Dark brows and beautiful eyes, water droplets still clung to her hair, and her face was flushed. Yang Lei couldn't help but be stunned. This guy was a girl, and quite delicate in appearance. Yet, her eyes held a flicker of hatred, a hint of stubbornness, and a trace of resilience. You're a girl? She blushed and nodded lightly. Sit down. Yang Lei pointed to the seat in front of him. She sat down as instructed, and Yang Lei asked again. What is your name? My name is Xia, she said. Xia, a beautiful name. What is your surname? Why do you wish to learn martial arts? Xia raised her head, her bright eyes gazing at Yang Lei as she said, My surname is Chao, my full name is Chausia. I wish to learn martial arts to seek vengeance for a blood feud. As she spoke, hatred spread in her eyes, which were now tinged with red blood vessels. Yang Lei shook his head. With a mindset like that, you are not suited for cultivation. Upon hearing this, Chao Siya's eyes reddened again, and she knelt down. I beg you, as long as you teach me to cultivate so I can exact my revenge, I will do anything you ask, even become your maidservant. This put Yang Lei in a difficult position. He thought to himself, hadn't he just obtained the slaughter sword art after killing Sword 13? This slaughter sword art would be perfectly suited for Chao Siya to cultivate. After all, not only did she possess a dark affinity physique, but she also had powerful hatred to fuel her. One could say this slaughter sword art was prepared specifically for her. Thus, he said, all right, I'll accept you. However, you will not be a maidservant, but rather my sword, a sharp blade. Thank you, master. Chao Siya was overcome with emotion. From now on, do not call me master. Young master will suffice. Furthermore, tell me your story first. As for cultivation matters, we can discuss them later, Yang Lei said, looking at her. Chao Siya nodded lightly and began to tell her story. Her father was named Chao Tianqiu, and her mother Luya. Their family was originally joyful and happy, but one day, her mother Luya went out shopping and was noticed by Wang Zhenjuan of the Wang clan. He desired to forcefully abduct Luya, but Luya would never comply, choosing death to prove her resolve. When Chao Siya's father learned of this, his heart felt as though it was being cut by a knife. To avenge Luya, he sought help from the local authorities, accusing Wang Zhenjuan. However, Chao Tianqiu was merely an ordinary merchant, while Wang Zhenjuan was a direct descendant of the Wang clan, one of the four great families. How could Chao Tianqiu possibly accuse Wang Zhenjuan successfully? Instead, it infuriated Wang Zhenjuan. He led a group of people and stormed into the Chao family home, slaughtering every single member of the Chao family. Over 20 lives in total. Chao Siya, however, was visiting relatives outside and thus escaped this calamity. Upon hearing this, Yang Lei couldn't help but curse inwardly. Such a cliché plot, and he encountered it. Nonetheless, he felt great sympathy for Chao Siya's plight. As for Xiaozhu and Chunlan, being women, they had long since been weeping profusely. Young master, you must help little sister Siya get her revenge. Chunlan said, rubbing her reddened, tear-filled eyes. Wang Kuei and Wang Zhenjuan, that father and son pair, already had a grudge against him anyway. He intended to deal with them in the future. So, helping Chao Siya get her revenge was no big deal. Siya, don't cry anymore. I will help you avenge your hatred, but I will let you personally kill Wang Zhenjuan with your own hands. However, now is not the time. My own strength is insufficient. The Wang clan holds great power, as one of the four great families of the Qianyuan kingdom. How could they be easily dealt with? If you wish for revenge, you must cultivate diligently. Wait until the day you become a martial saint, and furthermore, reach the great perfection of the martial saint realm, or even attain the martial god realm. That will be the time for your revenge. Pausing for a moment, Yang Lei looked at her and continued. However, you must clearly understand. Cultivation is extremely arduous. Moreover, the cultivation art I will impart to you is extremely ruthless. It exists specifically for killing. Furthermore, by cultivating this art, you may very well be forever hidden in the shadows, becoming my shadow, my sharp blade. Do you understand what I'm saying? For revenge, I can do anything, I fear nothing. As long as I can exact my revenge, I care for nothing else. Chao Siya said, her gaze resolute as she looked at Yang Lei. Since you've made your decision, I won't say more. Yang Lei reached out, retrieving that slaughter sword art from his system, then handed it to Chao Siya. This is the cultivation art you need. Cultivate it first. Later, if there's an art more suited to you, I will give it to you. Furthermore, take these medicinal pills, they can aid your cultivation. Thank you, young master. Chao Siya was immensely moved. There's no need to be so polite. From now on, you will be my shadow, working for me. You don't need to say thanks anymore. Furthermore, remember this, you only listen to me. Whatever I tell you to do, you do it, even if it means dying. Do you understand? What I require is absolute obedience. If one day I find you disobedient, I will personally deal with you. Yang Lei's tone was light, but one could feel the killing intent within it. Yes, young master. Chao Siya's voice changed, becoming as cold as ice. Yang Lei nodded lightly, satisfied. Chunlan, take her to her room. Understood, young master. Watching Chen Lan and Chao Siya's retreating figures, Yang Lei wondered if he had done wrong, destroying a young girl's life like this. 2 days later, Chao Siya had already assimilated into her new identity. Her cultivation progressed rapidly. In merely 2 days, she had reached the second-level martial practitioner realm. Such astonishing speed made even Yang Lei feel a touch of envy. Equals 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 Chapter 135, The Mysterious Bitch Tui Palace. 1. For the past 2 days, the second gold medal assassin had not made a move. Nevertheless, Yang Lei dared not take it lightly, remaining vigilant at all times. Should he be careless for even a moment and lose his life, that would be truly disastrous. On this particular day, as Yang Lei was in the courtyard carving a wooden statue, he heard Zhao Yuan's voice. Elder brother Zhao, how is it that you have leisure to visit today? Is something the matter? Yang Lei spoke, knowing full well that as a steward of the Long Wind Merchant Association, Zhao Yuan had numerous responsibilities and was usually swamped. Especially these days, with the wind cloud trials about to commence, the capital saw an influx of people, and naturally, even more matters arose. Zhao Yuan's unexpected visit thus came as a surprise to Yang Lei. Listen to you, can't I just visit without a reason? Then, Zhao Yuan produced several boxes of tea leaves, all crafted from jade, and also took out a storage ring. The tea was, of course, not ordinary tea leaves, but azure jade tea, a fact Yang Lei knew well. And within that storage ring, he expected to find the spirit stones and low-level cultivation techniques he required. These are the things you asked for. Elder brother Zhao, I truly thank you for this. Yang Lei transferred the contents of the storage ring to his own, then returned the ring to Zhao Yuan. It's just a small matter. Zhao Yuan shook his head. To you, elder brother, it might be a small matter, but to me, it's a great one, Yang Lei chuckled. Never mind that. Brother Yang, this time I came, apart from bringing you these things, I also have something I need your help with. Zhao Yuan looked at Yang Lei, his tone very serious. Seeing his demeanor, Yang Lei nodded lightly and said, What is it, elder brother, just say it. As long as it's within my capabilities, I will certainly help. My father wishes to meet you, if you, brother Yang, have the time. Zhao Yuan looked at Yang Lei. From his eyes, Yang Lei could discern that Zhao Yuan very much hoped he would agree. If it weren't truly urgent, Yang Lei knew Zhao Yuan wouldn't have brought it up so casually, especially since Yang Lei had explicitly told him not to reveal his matters to others at the very beginning. It seemed Zhao Yuan was in quite a predicament this time. All right, when? Yang Lei nodded. Truthfully, Zhao Yuan was the first friend Yang Lei had made after arriving on the Chongwu continent, and thus, he cherished this friendship deeply. The sooner the better. If possible, tonight would be ideal, Zhao Yuan said. Yang Lei nodded lightly. Very well, then. Come pick me up tonight. Thank you, brother Yang, Zhao Yuan said excitedly. Seeing his expression, Yang Lei couldn't help but wonder what predicament Zhao Yuan had truly encountered. Could some formidable figure be seeking him, needing his perfect grade pills? Or perhaps they wanted the method for their perfect refinement? Or was there something else entirely? Elder brother Zhao, you're being too serious. It's I who rely on your care, Yang Lei said with a smile. I wonder what difficult problem you've encountered, elder brother. If you can, speak of it, perhaps I have a solution. Zhao Yuan sighed. Actually, to be precise, it's an internal power struggle within our Long Wind Merchant Association. The association head is getting on in years and intends to step down, so a successor must be chosen. Naturally, the chosen successor needs to be someone who has made the greatest contributions and provided the most assistance to the Long Wind Merchant Association, someone most beneficial to its future development and possessing the greatest potential. Could it be that you, elder brother, wish to contend for the position of Long Wind Merchant Association head? You intend to lead the association? This is good news. Yang Lei said. If you need me to do anything, just say it directly. As long as it doesn't expose my identity, there's no problem. If you need pills, I can refine more to the best of my ability, and even if you need talismans, I can provide those too. Zhao Yuan shook his head. It's not that I want to contend for the position of Long Wind Merchant Association head, but my father. Actually, this is also out of necessity. If we don't contend, they will still make their move, and by then, my father and I won't have a good outcome. So, we have no choice but to fight for it. Zhao Yuan's tone revealed a sense of helplessness, and Yang Lei understood these matters well. Such a large merchant association was something everyone yearned to control. Once one became the helmsman of the association, everything would be within their grasp: power, wealth, beautiful women, a myriad of desires, as easy as turning one's hand. However, the competition within was brutal, bloody, and ruthless. Some would stop at nothing for it. The saying, "one general's success is built upon 10,000 withered bones," applied not only to battlefields but also to family struggles, and the power struggles within merchant associations and other such factions. Every rising force trod upon the corpses of others. "So, your father wants to meet me this time because of pills?" Yang Lei couldn't think of anything else he possessed that would warrant the attention of Zhao Yuan's father, apart from his pills. After all, on the Chongwu continent, he was the only one who could refine perfect-grade pills. Zhao Yuan nodded lightly. "My father intends to cooperate with you and needs a large quantity of pills. Young master, someone is looking for you." At this moment, Xiao Zhu walked over and whispered into his ear. Yang Lei nodded lightly, then said to Zhao Yuan, "Excuse me, elder brother Zhao, I have something to attend to and must step out for a moment." "You go ahead. I'll take my leave first, and I'll come pick you up tonight." Zhao Yuan also stood up. "Xiao Zhu, see elder brother out." Yang Lei gave the instruction, then walked out first himself. The person who had come to find Yang Lei was none other than Zier, Yang Yu's personal maid. Normally, if his second sister Yang Yu needed him for something, she would come in person, but this time she had clearly sent a maid. This suggested she was currently delayed by some matter, or had encountered some problem, which was why she had sent her maid. "Third young master." Zier gracefully curtsied upon seeing Yang Lei. "No need for such formality. What exactly did second sister call you here for?" Yang Lei felt a little worried, so he asked directly. "Young Miss sent me here to ask you, third young master, to return to the mighty martial king's estate now," Zier said. "What exactly is the matter? Has something happened to second sister? Let's talk as we go." Yang Lei was still extremely worried for this second sister who always cared for him, truly wishing for nothing to happen to her. Zier nodded lightly and walked ahead, speaking as they went. "The matter is like this: several women arrived at the mighty martial king's estate. Their cultivation is quite impressive, and they claim they wish to invite young Miss to become the bitch Tui Palace Master. Equals 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 equals. Chapter 136. The Mysterious Azure Water Palace. 2. Azure Water Palace. Yang Lei furrowed his brow. Could it be that the reason is because second sister received that senior's inheritance? I remember that beneath Ming Water Lake, second sister Yang Yu obtained the inheritance of the Azure Water Immortal Maiden bitch Yan Tui. It seems things must be exactly as I suspect. But what Yang Lei didn't understand was, why would the other party know that second sister had accepted the inheritance? That was truly strange. However, these questions would naturally become clear once he asked. 10 minutes later, Yang Lei once again stepped into the Valiant King's Manor. Upon entering the main courtyard of the Valiant King's Manor, he saw 5 figures. Seated in the place of honor was his second sister, Yang Yu, while 4 veiled women sat below. Yang Lei employed his appraisal art, and couldn't help but be inwardly shaken. He was utterly unable to discern the cultivation of these 4 individuals. This meant their cultivation was unfathomably profound, definitely above the martial god level. After all, Yang Lei's appraisal art had already reached the advanced stage. Apart from martial god level experts and above, he could completely appraise anyone else. Of course, if the opponent possessed a special spiritual artifact that concealed their aura, that would be an exception. However, such an artifact would have to be of the highest grade spirit artifact or above, meaning Earth Tier 9th grade or higher, otherwise, it wouldn't be possible. However, even if they possessed such an artifact to conceal their aura, Yang Lei's true vision eagle eyes could completely see through it. Therefore, possessing an artifact that could conceal one's aura was essentially useless against him. This unequivocally meant that the 4 individuals before him were absolutely powerhouses above the martial god realm. "Little brother, you've arrived. Come quickly and sit here." Seeing Yang Lei's arrival, Yang Yu immediately beamed with a joyful smile and pulled him to the seat beside her. Second sister, what exactly is going on? Who are they? Yang Lei whispered. Yang Yu softly replied, they are elders from the Azure Water Palace. They've come to take me to the Azure Water Palace to assume the position of Palace Lord. Yang Lei continued, so, the Azure Water Palace was founded by Senior Bitch Yan Tui? Yang Yu nodded lightly. Then, do you intend to agree or not? Yang Lei murmured. I don't know, I would have to leave the Qianyuan kingdom, Yang Yu said softly. At this moment, the woman seated furthest forward rose, looked at Yang Lei, and said, you are Yang Lei, our Palace Lord's younger brother, correct? Yes, Yang Lei nodded lightly. Yang Lei had already made some conjectures. He figured his second sister was undecided, which was why she had him return. On the other hand, these four elders were determined to take Yang Yu with them, but couldn't resort to coercion. Thus, they had decided to use him as a breakthrough point, hoping he could persuade Yang Yu. However, Yang Lei still harbored a suspicious attitude towards these four. Who knew if they truly had good intentions? What if they wanted to seize second sister's inheritance? That was also a possibility. We four sisters are elders of the Azure Water Palace. This time, we have come hoping to take your elder sister, Yang Yu, back to become our new palace lord and take charge of the Azure Water Palace. Yang Lei looked at her and said, I'm very curious, how did you know that my elder sister is your Azure Water Palace lord? She replied, when the previous palace lord departed, she left behind a token for the palace lord. By relying on this token, we were able to find her successor, who is also our new palace lord. Yang Lei shook his head and said, even if that's the case, so what? Who knows if you truly intend for my second sister to become the palace lord and take charge of the Azure Water Palace, or if you merely wish to seize her inheritance. Upon hearing these words, she shook her head repeatedly and said, that is impossible. No one can seize the palace lord's inheritance. If one were to harbor such thoughts, they would inevitably suffer a backlash from the Immortal Maiden's pavilion. At this, Yang Lei looked towards his second sister, who nodded lightly. Even so, I am still worried, Yang Lei said. Unless you swear a heart demon oath that you will absolutely not harm my second sister, and furthermore, you must guarantee her safety. The four women nodded lightly and swore a heart demon oath. Only then did Yang Lei finally feel reassured. Second sister, you should go with them, Yang Lei said to Yang Yu. Only by going with them will you receive the best cultivation, allowing you to swiftly enter the martial god realm. But. Second sister, this is such a good opportunity, don't hesitate. Once your own strength is sufficient, you can do anything you wish, and no one will be able to stop you. Yang Lei had previously caught wind of rumors that the Yang family intended to form an alliance with the Zhao family through marriage, and the likely bride was his second sister. Yang Yu was somewhat aware of this, but she adamantly disagreed. Besides, I'll come to see you whenever I have time. Yang Yu finally nodded. Little brother, you absolutely must come to see me. Otherwise, I'll disown you as a brother. Yang Yu departed, yet her departure brought a trace of worry to Yang Lei's heart. Xiao Lei, I have something to discuss with you. At this moment, Yang Yu appeared at the doorway. Yang Lei nodded lightly, already guessing that it was likely related to his second sister and the Azure Water Palace. Entering the study, Yang Lei immediately asked, what do you wish to know? Who were they? Yang Yu had noticed that the cultivation of those four women was not inferior to his own, in fact, they were much stronger. This caused him to secretly be startled. He himself was already a first-stage martial god, so just what terrifying level of cultivation had those four individuals reached? Actually, I'm not entirely clear myself, Yang Lei replied. All I know is that second sister received the inheritance of a powerful expert named Bitch Yan Tui. She founded the Azure Water Palace, and those women are elders of the Azure Water Palace. They came without ill intent this time. Alright, that's good then, Yang Yu sighed. How could he not know about the family's intention to marry into the Zhao family? After all, it was his own daughter. Knowing she didn't want it and seeing her unhappy also made him unhappy. Is there anything else? If not, I need to go back. I still have matters to attend to. Yang Lei checked the time, it wasn't early. He still had to go meet Zhao Yuan's father. After all, he had already agreed and couldn't go back on his word. This time, Yang Yu sought out Yang Lei, and the matter concerning Yang Yu was only one of his reasons. The most important issue was something else entirely. Have you encountered any problems recently? Equals 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 Chapter 137. Guest Elder Yang Lei was initially stunned, then reacted quickly, roughly guessing what the other party wanted to ask. It was about his assassination, and perhaps Yang Bing's involvement had been exposed. He hadn't heard any news of Yang Bing recently, so the man had probably fled the capital. As for Yang Lei being ambushed by assassins from the Heavenly Star Pavilion, it was almost certainly Yang Bing's doing. I was once ambushed by Yang Bing and fortunately escaped with my life. These past 2 days, I've again encountered assassins from the Heavenly Star Pavilion. Yang Lei had no intention of concealing these matters. After all, even if he wanted to, he couldn't. Moreover, telling them would only benefit him. The old masters of the Yang clan wouldn't stand by idly. He was, after all, the Yang family's most exceptional genius in centuries, the one with the greatest potential to enter the profound mystery sect and become a true disciple. Why didn't you say something sooner? Yang Yu was slightly irate. Do you not know that this could very well cost you your life? Do you think your wings have fully hardened? At Yang Yu's questioning and concern, Yang Lei let out a faint laugh. I know what I'm doing. Merely Heavenly Star Pavilion assassins. As long as it's not a divine-ranked expert making a move, I can still protect myself. You need not worry. How can you protect yourself? You're too naive. Don't think that just because you've reached the martial emperor realm, you're invincible under heaven. Hearing these words, Yang Yu was seething with anger. This morning he had been summoned and reprimanded by several elders, and the frustration had been building up inside him. This was his chance to vent. If you're only here to tell me these things, to lecture me, then there's no need. Yang Lei's tone remained indifferent. You. Yang Yu was furious beyond words. He then let out a sigh. Indeed, what right did he have to meddle in the young man's business? After a long moment, he looked at Yang Lei and said, if you're not confident, then come back. Yang Lei shook his head. No need. I have a true spirit talisman. You don't have to worry. A true spirit talisman, right? Here, this is my true spirit talisman, take it. Yang Yu took out a talisman, which was also a true spirit talisman. Yang Lei originally wanted to refuse, but seeing Yang Yu's gaze, he finally nodded and accepted the talisman from his hand, offering a word of thanks. You take care of yourself. As for Yang Bing's matter, I will handle it. Having left the Might King's estate and returned to the reflective star abode, Yang Lei still pondered one question in his heart, was he being a bit too excessive? But as he recalled the times he had been bullied within the Might King's estate, that trace of doubt immediately dissipated. Since he now possessed jade stones, Yang Lei decided to set up an array. He would arrange an illusion array within the reflective star abode, this way, it would surely have some effect. He began arranging the array. Elementary illusion array, activate. Yang Lei carefully placed the jade stones. In his hands, he continuously formed various profound hand seals, striking each seal art into the array. A faint screen of light then appeared in the air, only to quickly disappear. Having finished everything, Yang Lei struck several more seal arts into a few other jade stones. Carrying these particular jade stones would prevent one from being affected by the array. Xia Zhu, Chun Lan, and Siya, carry these 3 jade stones on your person. Remember, only by carrying these jade stones will you remain unaffected by this illusion array. Otherwise, you will fall into its illusion. Yang Lei handed the 3 jade stones, into which he had struck seal arts, to Xia Zhu and the others, instructing them. Understood, young master. Yang Lei waved his hand, gesturing for them to go about their duties. An hour later. A smile played on the corners of Yang Lei's mouth. Zhao Yuan arrived, entered the courtyard, but was immediately lost within the illusion. This illusion array is indeed effective, Yang Lei thought to himself. Its power is quite decent, at the very least, it trapped Zhao Yuan. Although his current cultivation isn't high, he has reached the late-stage martial master realm. For a late-stage martial master cultivator to be clueless within the array proves that my array-setting technique has initially shown its effectiveness. However, as for martial emperor or martial saint level martial artists, Yang Lei didn't know how long it could truly hold them. Perhaps it would be dispelled in mere seconds, he couldn't be sure. After all, he hadn't tested it, so he had no right to speak definitively. Seeing that the time was about right, Yang Lei struck several seal arts into the air, releasing Zhao Yuan. Old brother Zhao, how is this illusion array of mine? Looking at the extremely disheveled Zhao Yuan, Yang Lei said with a laugh. Zhao Yuan said, dejected, you little rascal. Wasn't this intentionally making your old brother lose face? Yang Lei hurriedly said, old brother, have a sip of tea. Please, calm your anger, calm your anger. I was just trying my hand at setting up an array and was about to test it. I didn't expect you to deliver yourself right to my door. Sigh. Consider me unlucky. Zhao Yuan accepted the teacup and said helplessly. Old brother, you truly possess a prime minister's magnanimity. Hearing this, Yang Lei laughed heartily. But old brother, what do you think of this illusion array? Is it any good? Young brother, you truly surprise me. Not only can you refine pills, but you even know how to set up arrays. Truly formidable. Zhao Yuan sincerely gave a thumbs up. Such talent, being able to refine perfect pills and also set up arrays, was incredibly rare, almost unheard of. Merely a beginner's attempt, old brother, don't mock me, Yang Lei said with a smile. You call this a beginner's attempt? Tomorrow morning, set one up for me in my courtyard. At least it will give me some peace of mind. Zhao Yuan took a sip of tea and said contentedly. No problem, it's just a small matter, Yang Lei replied with a smile. That's good then. Your old brother thanks you in advance. Zhao Yuan was truly delighted. Having such an array set up at his own home would make him feel much safer. Old brother, what kind of relationship do we have? There's no need to be so polite over such a small matter. All in all, Zhao Yuan left a rather good impression on Yang Lei, which made Yang Lei happy to interact with him. After all, Yang Lei didn't have many friends on the Chengwu continent, and Zhao Yuan was among the best. Of course, there were also a few other relationships that were a bit ambiguous. Half an hour later, within a private room of the Long-Wind Merchant Guild. There were no other people present, only an old man who appeared to be 50 to 60 years old. This must be Zhao Yuan's father. Although he looked young, merely 50 to 60, Yang Lei knew clearly that he was probably closer to 80. It was due to his profound cultivation that he appeared so youthful. Chapter 138, Essence Blood Pill. 1. Appraisal Art. Zhao Yu, a fourth-stage martial saint, and an elder of the Chongfeng Merchant Guild. Brother Yang, this is my father, Zhao Yu. Zhao Yuan introduced. Elder Zhao, it's a pleasure. Zhao Yuan was Zhao Yuan, and his father was his father. Thus, Yang Lei didn't display any particular enthusiasm, his tone utterly indifferent, devoid of any superfluous expressions. Father, this is Yang Lei, whom I've told you about. Little brother Yang Lei, I've heard much about you from Yuaner. You are indeed a young hero. Please, have a seat. Let us sit and talk. Yang Lei didn't mind, casually taking a seat. At this moment, Zhao Yu cast a glance at his son, signaling him to leave for a moment. Zhao Yu didn't wish to put his son in an awkward position, after all, he hadn't originally intended to bring so much trouble upon Yang Lei. Summoning Yang Lei this time was somewhat out of necessity, and Zhao Yu understood his son's thoughts clearly, which was why he subtly motioned for him to depart. Yang Lei also understood, so he said nothing further upon seeing Zhao Yuan leave. May I ask, Elder Zhao, what brings you to seek me out this time? Yang Lei was direct, not beating around the bush. His presence here was merely out of consideration for Zhao Yuan's face. Zhao Yu, however, merely smiled, pouring Yang Lei a cup of tea. Nephew, since you and Yuan are friends, there's no need to be so formal. Just call me Uncle Zhao. Hearing this, Yang Lei couldn't help but roll his eyes internally. He and Zhao Yuan could probably even be called grandfathers to each other, yet he was to call Zhao Yu uncle. However, this was merely an internal thought, outwardly, he still nodded. After all, for Yang Lei, it didn't matter, it was just a form of address, he wouldn't lose anything by it, nor would he need to agree to any conditions because of it. Uncle Zhao. That's more like it. Zhao Yu chuckled heartily, appearing extremely pleased. Uncle Zhao, let's not beat around the bush. What exactly did you ask elder brother Zhao to bring me here for? Just speak frankly. After all, there are no outsiders here. If I can help, I will do my best. Yang Lei had no intention of wasting time here, he had many matters of his own to attend to. Very well, since nephew has spoken thus, I shall no longer be long-winded. This time, I compelled you honor to bring you to meet me because I wish for nephew to become a guest elder of my Chongfeng Merchant Guild. Zhao Yu spoke directly. Yang Lei was stunned to hear this, then shook his head, saying, Uncle Zhao, I'm afraid that won't do. It's impossible for me to join the Chongfeng Merchant Guild. I do not like to be restrained. Zhao Yu seemed to have anticipated Yang Lei's reaction, and continued, Nephew, don't be so quick to refuse. Please listen to me explain clearly before making your decision. Speak your piece, I'll listen. Yang Lei wasn't impatient. Instead, he smiled, curious to see what Zhao Yu could say, as he was already seated here anyway. In truth, as a guest elder, nephew wouldn't need to do much. Primarily, you would just need to lend a hand when my Chongfeng Merchant Guild faces difficulties. As for other matters, if you wish to do them, then do so, if not, you may decline. In other words, this position of guest elder offers complete freedom. Of course, there are also natural benefits. You would have free access to the resources of our Chongfeng Merchant Guild, nearly on par with our core elders. Zhao Yu explained. The resources of the Chongfeng Merchant Guild naturally swayed Yang Lei's heart. It was no joke, a merchant guild of such immense scale, amassed over thousands of years, undoubtedly possessed a wealth of treasures. Moreover, the vast information network under the Chongfeng Merchant Guild's control was a huge draw for him. If he wanted something, or needed to find something, doing so through the Chongfeng Merchant Guild would be immeasurably faster. However, Yang Lei didn't believe that gaining access to the Chongfeng Merchant Guild's resources would truly be so easy. If it were that simple, everyone would agree. There was no such thing as a free lunch in this world. Since Zhao Yu had made such an offer, there must certainly be other problems requiring his resolution, and this issue was precisely the crucial reason Zhao Yu had summoned him. Listening to Uncle Zhao, my heart is indeed swayed. However, there's no such thing as a free pastry falling from the sky. So, Uncle Zhao, please just state directly, what do you need me to do? I need nephew to help me ascend to the position of Guild Master of the Chongfeng Merchant Guild. Zhao Yu looked at Yang Lei, speaking with great solemnity. Yang Lei raised an eyebrow. The position of Guild Master of the Chongfeng Merchant Guild, so it turned out he was needed to participate in the internal struggles of their guild. This was no simple matter, he might even encounter assassination attempts. The Chongfeng Merchant Guild had been established for thousands of years, developing into an enormous power. How much wealth it possessed, how many experts it harbored, all of this was unknown. He was merely a first-stage martial emperor. If he were to participate in their internal power struggles, he might not even be able to preserve his corpse. At this moment, a system notification arrived. Ding! Branch quest initiated. Take control of the Chongfeng merchant guilds across the 4 continents of Xianyuan Star, merge them, and become the largest merchant guild on Xianyuan Star. Quest reward unknown. Quest failure will result in the deduction of 2 system auxiliary functions. Branch quest, Stage 1, assist Zhao Yu in seizing the position of Guild Master of the Chongfeng Merchant Guild, and establish your own sphere of influence. Quest reward will be determined by completion rate. Yang Lei was dumbfounded. This meant he absolutely had to participate in the internal struggles of the Chongfeng Merchant Guild. Moreover, from the quest information, it seemed this Chongfeng Merchant Guild existed not only on the Chongwu continent but also on 3 other continents. Whether the Chongfeng merchant guilds on those 3 other continents were as powerful, or if they were the largest guilds on their respective continents, remained unknown. Alright, Uncle Zhao, I agree. I will help you ascend to the position of Guild Master of the Chongfeng Merchant Guild. But what exactly do I need to do? Don't tell me you want me to deal with those martial saint or martial god experts, I don't possess that capability. Aside from refining pills, I have nothing else that can help you. Yang Lei looked at him as he spoke. As soon as Zhao Yu heard Yang Lei agree, he was overcome with excitement. With Yang Lei's agreement, his grand ambition could be realized. The Chongfeng Merchant Guild would be as good as his. Everyone understood the prestige and influence of a pill refiner capable of crafting perfect pills. If news were released that a pill refiner who could refine perfect pills supported him, those old fogies within the guild would undoubtedly lend their unconditional support. equals 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 chapter 139 Blood Essence Pill. 2. Seriously, many of those old monsters don't have much lifespan left. If an alchemist can refine a perfect grade pill, they can refine the blood essence pill. This blood essence pill can replenish one's blood essence and extend their lifespan. How incredibly tempting is that? Those old monsters who have cultivated for hundreds, even thousands of years, need these things the most. Thus, the older and longer they live, the more they fear death. Zhao Yu himself deeply understood this point. When young, one dares to fight and risk it all, completely unafraid of death. But when old, one retreats, becoming greatly fearful of death. No need for that, no need. Virtuous nephew only needs to refine pills. As long as you can refine one type of pill, everything will be auspicious. Zhao Yu chuckled. This type of pill, for you, virtuous nephew, might not be considered a difficult task at all. Yang Lei, on the other hand, was utterly astonished. Just letting him refine one type of pill would be enough? What kind of pill could be so potent? Could it be some kind of pill that controls one's mind? If it were such a pill, it's possible, but only a possibility. Even if such a pill existed, it would essentially be useless against those martial saint and martial god level experts. Their vigilance is at its peak. What kind of pill could be so potent that it could so easily achieve such a goal? Yang Lei couldn't help but ask. The blood essence pill. Zhao Yu said. The blood essence pill? What kind of pill is that? I've never heard of it. Yang Lei shook his head. In his memories, he had never come across such a pill, nor had he found any information about it within the system. Yang Lei's reply truly stunned Zhao Yu. Virtuous nephew, are you joking? In his eyes, how could Yang Lei, who could refine perfect grade pills, not know about a pill like the blood essence pill? This blood essence pill was an extremely renowned and precious pill. Anyone capable of refining this blood essence pill had to be an alchemist who could refine perfect grade pills. And as an alchemist, it was simply impossible not to know about the blood essence pill. In truth, the recipe for the blood essence pill was essentially held by any major clan. However, the key was that there was no one who could refine a perfect grade pill. If it wasn't a perfect grade pill, then the refined blood essence pill would merely be a waste pill. Not only would it have no effect, but it would instead be a highly poisonous pill, causing great harm to the cultivator's body. For Yang Lei to say he didn't know what the blood essence pill was made Zhao Yu disbelieve him, thinking Yang Lei was joking. Seeing Zhao Yu's reaction, although Yang Lei didn't know what was going on, he still shook his head and said, Uncle Zhao, I'm not lying to you. I truly don't know what this blood essence pill is, nor have I ever heard of it. Zhao Yu saw that Yang Lei's demeanor didn't seem like he was lying, so he believed him. After all, Yang Lei had no reason to deceive him. The blood essence pill is a rather special type of pill. It has no grade, but its effects are what all cultivators fervently dream of. Yang Lei looked at Zhao Yu in surprise. What all cultivators fervently dream of? Could it be that consuming it can rapidly advance one's cultivation? Zhao Yu shook his head. No. If it were merely a pill for advancing cultivation, it wouldn't reach this level of importance. Could it be similar to the barrier-breaking pill, able to allow someone to break through a barrier and advance a realm? Yang Lei recalled the barrier-breaking pill he obtained in Mystic Water Lake. That barrier-breaking pill was indeed something all cultivators longed for. Zhao Yu still shook his head. The barrier-breaking pill is precious, but it's not as difficult to obtain as the blood essence pill, nor is it as important as the blood essence pill. The barrier-breaking pill can only target Martial God Grand Completion cultivators, and those who can reach Martial God Grand Completion are exceedingly few. Therefore, while the barrier-breaking pill is potent, not many people can actually make use of it. Thus, for some, the barrier-breaking pill is far less important than the blood essence pill. Uncle Zhao, don't beat around the bush any longer. What exactly are the miraculous effects of this blood essence pill that make people value it so highly? Yang Lei's curiosity was completely piqued. The blood essence pill can replenish a cultivator's blood essence and extend their lifespan. For cultivators whose lifespans are nearing their end and who cannot break through, the blood essence pill is extraordinarily precious. Compared to the barrier-breaking pill, it is even more valuable and rarer. Zhao Yu explained. Replenished blood essence, extend lifespan? Yang Lei's eyes lit up. He hadn't expected such a pill to exist. If that were truly the case, if he could refine this pill, he could win over a large number of powerful experts, and formidable old monsters at that. However, with the blood essence pill being so precious and rare, its grade surely wouldn't be low. Yet, Zhao Yu had previously mentioned that the blood essence pill had no grade, which could mean it surpassed the heaven grade. He was merely a mid-level alchemist, how could he possibly refine it? Even with the use of the violet immortal fruit, it might not be achievable. Exactly, it extends lifespan. If you, virtuous nephew, can refine the blood essence pill, then my ambition to control the Long-Wind Merchant Guild will be beyond doubt. Moreover, you, virtuous nephew, can use this blood essence pill to make those powerful old monsters work for you. For the blood essence pill, they would agree without the slightest hesitation. Yang Lei naturally understood this point clearly. But the key was whether he could refine it, and furthermore, he didn't even have the pill recipe. Uncle Zhao, forgive my directness, but if the blood essence pill is so rare, it also means it's extremely difficult to refine. I might not even be able to refine it, let alone the fact that this junior doesn't have the recipe for the blood essence pill. So, while this junior wishes to refine the blood essence pill, I am willing in spirit but powerless in execution. Zhao Yu burst into laughter upon hearing this and said, for other alchemists, this might be a major problem, but for you, virtuous nephew, it's no problem at all. There is only one requirement for refining this blood essence pill, it must be a perfect grade pill to be effective. In other words, the one who refines the blood essence pill must produce a perfect grade pill, anything else, even a 9/10 grade pill, would be useless. And you, virtuous nephew, are capable of refining perfect grade pills. As for the pill recipe and medicinal ingredients, those are entirely not a problem. I have the pill recipe, and I also have the medicinal ingredients. Furthermore, if those old monsters knew someone could refine the blood essence pill, they would prepare the ingredients themselves. You, virtuous nephew, wouldn't need to worry about it at all. Chapter 140, Heaven Blades First Style. 1. But, Uncle Zhao, I can indeed refine this perfected pill, but refining a perfected pill is only possible for those of profound tier 9th grade and below. If its grade reaches Earth tier, then I simply cannot refine it. The failure rate would be too high, utterly impossible. So, if this essence blood pill is Earth tier or above, then I won't be able to refine it. Yang Lei said. Hearing Yang Lei speak, Zhao Wu chuckled, nephew, you've misunderstood my words. When I said the essence blood pill had no grade, I didn't mean its grade was higher than heaven tier. Rather, this essence blood pill is actually quite simple to refine, its grade is only equivalent to the profound tier. However, to truly become an essence blood pill, it must be a perfected pill. That's why, for so many years, no one has been able to refine the essence blood pill, because they simply couldn't produce a perfected pill. So that's how it is. In that case, I can give it a try, but whether it succeeds or not, I can't say for sure. Yang Lei finally understood the true nature of this essence blood pill. Zhao Wu laughed aloud, it will definitely succeed. Since you, nephew, can already refine perfected pills, then this essence blood pill will be no problem at all. Having said that, Zhao Wu handed over a pill formula, precisely the formula for the essence blood pill. This essence blood pill contained one most important, and also most precious, ingredient, the essence blood grass. This essence blood grass was nurtured from the blood and remains of saint beasts or divine beasts after their deaths, making it extremely rare. However, it wasn't as precious as the 1,000-year lotus seed Yang Lei had spoken of that day, as there were still quite a few saint beasts and divine beasts on the Chengwu continent. This storage pouch contains all the medicinal ingredients for refining the essence blood pill. I will await your good news here, nephew. Zhao Wu said with a faint smile. Yang Lei put away the item and said, Uncle Zhao, I've already said it, if it doesn't succeed, please don't blame me. After all, I've truly never attempted to refine this essence blood pill, so my confidence isn't absolute. Zhao Wu said, if it truly doesn't work out, then that's heaven's will. But I believe you, nephew, will certainly succeed. Stepping out of the room, Yang Lei saw Zhao Yuan waiting there for him, and walked over. How was it? Did you reach an agreement? Zhao Yuan rushed forward to greet him, seeing Yang Lei emerge. Yang Lei knew he was extremely concerned about this matter. After all, it related to his and his father's future, and Yang Lei completely understood his feelings regarding this. Yang Lei nodded lightly. I've already agreed to Uncle Zhao's request, but whether it succeeds or not still depends on heaven's will. Yang Lei was speaking frankly. However, if the grade of the essence blood pill was indeed only equivalent to the profound tier, then refining it presented no real difficulty. After all, when refining profound tier pills, adding the purple xiang fruit already raised the success rate to a very high level. That's excellent. Upon hearing these words, a smile appeared on Zhao Yuan's face. Brother Zhao, let's head to your place first. I still need to set up an array formation for you. Yang Lei remembered his promise to set up an illusion array for him, and thus spoke. Hearing this, Zhao Yuan slapped his own head. Look at me, I was so happy I even forgot about this. Let's go now, my small courtyard isn't very far from here, just a few steps away. The two walked along the path. Suddenly, Yang Lei felt a bone-chilling cold. His heart grew wary. This time, he feared, the gold-tier assassin had returned. He immediately slowed his pace and activated his true eagle eye. Brother Yang, why have you stopped? Zhao Yuan asked, seeing Yang Lei slow down. Brother, we're in trouble. We're being watched. Yang Lei let out a bitter laugh. Under the observation of his true eagle eye, he discovered that this time there wasn't just one assassin, they were coming from 3 directions, already surrounding the two of them. With a quick appraisal skill, he identified one as a martial emperor of the 3rd stage, while the other 2 were martial kings, one a martial king of the 6th stage, and the other a martial king of the 8th stage. In other words, one of these 3 was a gold-tier assassin, while the other 2 were silver-tier assassins. Impossible. We're not far from the Long-Wind Merchant Guild. Surely no one would dare to make a move here. But then he remembered that this could be related to his father's adversary, 6th Elder Zhao Mao. That 6th Elder Zhao Mao was someone who stopped at nothing, so hiring assassins was certainly a possibility. Brother Yang, it might be that I've implicated you this time. Having figured these things out, Zhao Yuan said with a bitter smile. He didn't expect Zhao Mao's faction to resort to such methods. Hearing this, Yang Lei shook his head. They aren't here for you. Their target is me, it's I who have implicated you, brother. It was clear these 3 assassins were after him. Although they hadn't fully revealed themselves, Yang Lei could feel that their target was him, their killing intent directed solely at him. Regardless of who they're after, we need to escape from them first. Zhao Yuan said. But, Brother Yang, you don't need to worry. As long as we can hold out for a moment, my father will rush over to rescue us. I just crushed a communication talisman. They've already received the message. Yang Lei nodded. Originally, this situation would have required him to reveal his trump cards, but since they only needed to hold them off for a moment, he wouldn't have to use the stormy pear blossom needles, much less activate the true spirit talisman. That would be a waste. Brother, can you hold off a martial king of the 8th stage? Yang Lei was clear that he could only hold off 2 of them. A 3rd stage martial emperor and a 6th stage martial king were already his limit. If there were 3, it would definitely be impossible, unless he used the stormy pear blossom needles, or if his wind concealment blade manifested its one-strike, certain kill attribute. Otherwise, the chances were slim. He had originally thought Zhao Yuan would find it difficult, but unexpectedly, Zhao Yuan calmly nodded, a martial king of the 8th stage? I can still handle that. Yang Lei pondered and realized it was true. Although Zhao Yuan's cultivation was lower, as Zhao Wu's son, the steward of the Long-Wind Merchant Guild, and its future heir, how could he not possess some life-preserving methods? Very well, brother. You should also be careful. By then, I might not be able to look after you. Among them is a martial emperor expert. Yang Lei reminded. Don't worry, brother Yang. Just look after yourself, you don't need to worry about me. Come out now. Stop hiding, I've already found you. Yang Lei shouted towards the hiding spot of the gold-tier assassin. Equals 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 Chapter 141, Heavenly Blade's First Form. 2. To deal with me, I didn't expect you would actually deploy a gold rank assassin and 2 silver rank assassins. I am merely in the martial king realm, Heavenly Star Tower truly overestimates me. No sooner had Yang Lei finished speaking, a masked man emerged from the corner. In his hand, he carried a short sword, its blade pitch black, as if it could absorb all light, appearing exceptionally sinister. He was also one of Heavenly Star Tower's gold-rank assassins, ranked 10th, named Sword 10. No wonder 13 died by your hand. So you can actually see through our stealth. Sword 10 said. So what? Today, you will likewise die here. Yang Lei sneered, the wind-concealing blade already in his grasp. Call the other two out as well. There's no need to hide anymore, it's useless. Attack. Kill him. Don't worry about that old fellow. As Sword 10 finished speaking, his entire body transformed into a black blur, attacking Yang Lei. However, though fast, Yang Lei had already entered the Martial Emperor realm today. Although he was only at the first stage of the Martial Emperor realm, compared to his time in the Martial King realm, it was a world of difference. If he were still in the Martial King realm, Yang Lei might have been intimidated, but now that he had reached the Martial Emperor realm, such speed was of no concern to him. Wind-concealing blade, 7 killing wind blades, 5 slashes combined. Yang Lei attacked with full force, holding nothing back. With a single slash of the long blade in his hand, a whirlwind immediately appeared, sweeping towards Sword 10. The whirlwind grew larger and larger, its power terrifying, lifting chunks of flagstone from the ground. Yang Lei did not stop there. As the flagstones were lifted, he simultaneously struck forward with a palm. His fierce G strike hit the airborne flagstones, which instantly transformed into numerous hidden weapons, flying towards Sword 10 like speeding bullets. Sword 10's expression changed at the sight. The power of this strike was definitely not something a Martial King realm cultivator, or even a regular Martial Emperor realm cultivator, could unleash. Even he himself might not be able to execute such a move. The coverage area of this move was vast, making it impossible for Sword 10 to evade. Sword 10 cultivated assassination sword arts, not raw, mighty force. Faced with Yang Lei's brutally violent methods, he fundamentally had no technique to counter them. The only way was to use force against force, but Sword 10 himself lacked such formidable, mighty strength. He dared not meet it head-on, and hastily retreated. But Yang Lei was not yet finished. In a brief instant, the long blade in his hand vanished, replaced by the soul-chasing longbow. With a whoosh, Yang Lei fired an arrow, aiming directly for Sword 10's glabella. These 3 successive moves from Yang Lei, without a moment's pause, had actually reached the Grandmaster level. If a Martial Saint Realm expert were to witness this, they would undoubtedly be aghast. Such an offensive, even a great perfection Martial Emperor might not be able to achieve. Yet Yang Lei had linked them together so unexpectedly and naturally. Bang! 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 Sword 10 unleashed a full-powered palm strike, shattering the whirlwind and the subsequent barrage of stones. He then instantly flickered, dodging the fatal blow. However, he could not completely evade the arrow Yang Lei fired, and still had an earshot off. Yang Lei inwardly thought, what a pity. However, Yang Lei had no time to pursue Sword 10. Behind him, the 2 silver-rank assassins had already launched their attack, one from the left, one from the right, simultaneously thrusting towards Yang Lei's head. At this moment, Zhao Yuan was not idle either. He hurled out a spirit charm, a lightning serpent talisman, employing the besiege way to rescue Zhao strategy to attack one of them. Naturally, that person didn't want to die. This lightning serpent talisman possessed immense power, belonging to an Earth tier, 2nd grade talisman. Even a Martial Emperor wouldn't dare to forcefully resist it, let alone a mere 8th stage Martial Emperor like him. Even though he evaded with all his might, he was still struck in his right arm. Lightning crackled around it, his arm was essentially crippled. With one less attacker, things became much easier for Yang Lei. A mere 6th stage Martial Emperor, although he had exchanged a few blows with Sword 10 and expended a great deal of energy, Yang Lei did not forcefully resist, immediately pulling back. Moreover, in the instant he pulled back, he had already consumed an origin-restoring pill. The origin-restoring pill replenished qi at an extremely fast rate. Within a few breaths, Yang Lei's expended qi had instantly recovered by more than half. However, Sword 10 had also recovered by this point. At this moment, Sword 10 was unusually furious. Since his debut, he had never suffered such a blow, never endured such humiliation. One hand instinctively went to his mutilated ear, his rage reaching its peak. The short sword in his hand glowed with a dazzling black light, as if proclaiming the fury within its master's heart. Killing intent surged. At this moment, Sword 10's cultivation rapidly escalated. Yang Lei's eyes widened in surprise. This fellow couldn't overcome the blow he had dealt him, he had fallen to demonic deviation. Once one fell to demonic deviation, their cultivation would instantly rise by several levels. At this moment, Sword 10's cultivation was easily 10 times what it had been before. Before, even a regular Sword 10 had given him a headache. Now, with Sword 10's cultivation soaring, and him fearing neither life nor death, completely throwing caution to the wind and having lost his own rationality, his cultivation was almost comparable to a late-stage martial emperor. Did he really have to use the torrential rain pear blossom needles? Within these few short breaths, Sword 10 had already lunged to Yang Lei's front. 7 killing wind blades, 5 slashes combined. Yang Lei suddenly roared, channeling all his chi into the wind-concealing blade. His strongest move was unleashed once more. This time, it was incredibly simple, devoid of any flourish, striking straight down. The 7 killing wind blades had infinite variations, sometimes simple, sometimes complex. The key lay in mastering the method of chi circulation. Only after mastery could one transform the mundane into the miraculous. Each move and form contained the profound truths of heaven and earth. But at this moment, Yang Lei completely forgot all his techniques. In his mind, only the blade in his hand remained. That single slash, transforming into a streak of white light, instantly vanished. Ding! Congratulations to player for slaying Sword 10, a third-stage martial emperor. EXP plus 30 million, merit points plus 300,000, chi cultivation points plus 300,000. Ding! Congratulations to player for obtaining the Dark Demon Sword. Ding! Congratulations to player for comprehending the Heavenly Blade's first form. Yang Lei snapped back to reality. He hadn't expected to have an epiphany in battle. The power of this martial skill he had comprehended was immeasurable. Watch out! Just as Yang Lei was contemplating his comprehension of the Heavenly Blade's first form, the long sword of the other silver rank assassin had already thrust forward. By then, Zhao Yuan's warning was too late. Zhao Yuan's soul nearly left his body. If Yang Lei were to die like this, then things would truly be disastrous. Yang Lei instantly flickered, but he could not completely dodge the sword. The long sword thrust directly towards Yang Lei's body. Equals 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 Chapter 142, Shadow Demon Sword. 1. However, after the long sword pierced 3 points deep, it could not penetrate any further. The Iron Shirt Technique, 6th layer. At the 6th layer, the Iron Shirt Technique rendered one invulnerable to blades and spears, impervious even to a martial emperor's assault. While such a claim might sound exaggerated, it was indeed incredibly difficult for a martial emperor realm expert to kill Yang Lei. Having cultivated to only the 2nd layer of the Iron Shirt Technique, Yang Lei's physique was already exceedingly robust. The assassin, seeing his longsword clearly fail to penetrate Yang Lei's body, couldn't help but be stunned. At that moment, Yang Lei extended a hand, his 5 fingers transforming into an eagle's claw. Eagle claw skill, hawk snatching prey. His steel-like fingers clamped onto the assassin's head. The silver-ranked assassin's skull was crushed by Yang Lei's bare hands, crimson and white brain matter splattering everywhere. Witnessing this gruesome scene, Zhao Yuan was utterly terrified. The other silver-ranked assassin, seeing the situation, knew full well that he had absolutely no chance of killing Yang Lei, and hurriedly retreated. Scoundrel, where do you think you're going? At this moment, Zhao Yuan's father, Zhao Wu, arrived. Seeing the silver-ranked assassin attempting to flee, how could he possibly grant him such an opportunity? If even a martial emperor realm expert could escape from his grasp, then his title as a martial saint would be meaningless. With a word, he instantly extended a claw into the air, unleashing a powerful suction force that drew the assassin toward him, rendering him unable to struggle. Once pulled into his hand, Zhao Wu held the assassin as if he were carrying a chicken, lifting him before Yang Lei. Virtuous nephew, are you all right? Zhao Wu, seeing the bloodstains on Yang Lei's chest, asked with concern. Yang Lei had long since consumed an origin-restoring pill, and over half of the chi in his body had recovered. However, the physical injuries were not so easily healed, requiring a full day of rest and recuperation. It's nothing, merely external wounds. It's good that you're all right. Zhao Wu and Zhao Yuan simultaneously let out a sigh of relief. If Yang Lei were to be killed within their Long-Wind Merchant Guild's territory, where would the guild's face be? Moreover, Yang Lei's life or death was crucial to whether Zhao Wu could succeed as guild master. Absolutely nothing could happen to him. Zhao Wu then asked, "Virtuous nephew, how do you wish to deal with this fellow?" Yang Lei knew they wouldn't be able to extract anything from the assassin. Just as he was about to make a move, he saw the assassin had already consumed poison and taken his own life. This saved them a fair bit of trouble. Yang Lei then gave a bitter laugh and said, "Elder brother Zhao, I'm afraid I won't be able to set up the array for you this time." "What are you saying?" "Your injuries, my dear brother, are what matter. An array is but a trifle, whether it's set up or not is of no consequence. The key is how you are doing." Zhao Yuan's concern was heartfelt. "It's nothing, elder brother, you don't need to worry." Yang Lei shook his head. "Uncle Zhao, elder brother, I should return to heal my wounds now." At this moment, Zhao Wu said, "Virtuous nephew, I think it would be better for you to return to my place to recuperate. With me around, it will be safer. The Long-Wind Merchant Guild still poses some threat, but they wouldn't dare make a move within my guild's premises." Yang Lei shook his head, declining the offer. Seeing his resolve, Zhao Wu could not insist and merely said, "Since virtuous nephew doesn't wish to recuperate here with me, I shall escort you back. That will also be safer." This time, Yang Lei did not refuse. After all, Yang Bing or others like Yang Tianlei might still be lurking nearby. Additionally, there was Wang Kuei from the Wang family. As for the third Prince Qian Wuyong of the imperial family, Yang Lei was not concerned. The imperial family was currently in a precarious position, although one individual had obtained the qualification of a profound mystery sect true disciple. The imperial family had suffered greatly in their pursuit of the immortal ascension token, causing them to expend much of their vitality. How could they possibly stir up more trouble now? Therefore, Yang Lei had no worries regarding the imperial family. Under Zhao Wu's escort, Yang Lei safely returned to his residence. Upon entering, the three maidservants, including Xia Zhu, were chatting when they saw Yang Lei covered in blood. They cried out in alarm, "Young master, what happened? Are you injured? Young master, are you all right?" One after another, they expressed their utmost concern. Yang Lei's face broke into a smile, "It's nothing, just minor wounds." "Young master, allow me to help you inside," Chen Lan said. Yang Lei waved his hand. "I'm not that severely injured. They are all just superficial wounds, a day's rest will suffice. Go prepare some warm water for me, I want to bathe and change." His clothes were tattered and stained with blood, making him extremely uncomfortable. Yang Lei sighed inwardly. If only he had been wearing that celestial silkworm silk undergarment, he probably wouldn't have been injured. The celestial silkworm silk undergarment could have blocked this sword. While bathing, what astonished Yang Lei was that the wounds on his body had already healed and scabbed over. Such incredibly fast recovery left Yang Lei somewhat dumbfounded. Could it be that his cultivation of the iron shirt technique had actually grown powerful to such a degree? Regardless, this was a good thing, a profoundly good thing. Rapid recovery speed was, at times, a tremendous advantage. Seated in the courtyard, reflecting on this battle, he realized he had gained no small harvest, especially the stance he had finally comprehended at the end. The Heavenly Blade's first stance. The Heavenly Blade's first stance, a heaven-tier martial skill, could instantly erupt with 64 times one's battle power. Its attacks bypassed all defenses. Once locked on, the target had no means of evasion, nowhere to hide. Due to its immense power, which disrupted the balance of the martial system, it had a one-day cooldown and could not be stacked with other skills. Bypassing all defenses and being inescapable, such a technique was truly heaven-defying. 64 times one's battle power, how terrifying. Even though he was currently only at the first stage of Martial Emperor, he could still kill a Martial Emperor at the Great Perfection stage. If he were to first use a Great Strength Vajra Talisman, and then unleash this move, that would be a terrifying boost of 6,400 times his battle power. In that case, even a Martial Saint at Great Perfection would hold no fear for him. It was truly heaven-defying to the extreme. He absolutely had to find a way to obtain the method for crafting the Great Strength Vajra Talisman. Even if it cost 1,000,000 points, he must have it. If he had the Great Strength Vajra Talisman to complement the Heavenly Blade's first stance, then he would truly have nothing to fear. However, the regrettable thing was that the Heavenly Blade's first stance had a one-day cooldown and could not be stacked with other skills. Otherwise, if the Heavenly Blade's first stance were combined with the Wind Blade's 7 kills, he could unleash a maximum battle power of over 3,000 times his own strength. If the Great Strength Vajra Talisman were added, that would be a boost of 300,000 times his battle power, making even slaying a martial god realm expert not a difficult task. Equals 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 Chapter 143, Sword of the Dark Fiend. 2. Yang Lei actually wanted to try out the Heavenly Blade's first stance, but due to its cooldown, he wouldn't be able to use it today. When he had slain Sword 10, a short sword had seemingly dropped, the Dark Fiend Sword. Perhaps this Dark Fiend Sword was no ordinary item. After all, when Sword 10 wielded it, it resembled a black hole, capable of absorbing light. This sword was truly strange, an ultimate assassination weapon, probably similar to the Fishgut Sword, one of Alak's 10 great divine weapons. Dark Fiend Sword, Heaven Tier, 1st grade. A low-grade divine artifact, forged from the horn of a dark heavenly fiend. It possesses dark attribute, capable of absorbing light and concealing the wielder's aura. Once acknowledged by a master, it can perfectly merge with them, reaching a state of flawless unity. When assassinating in the shadows, its wielder becomes like a fish in water, their combat power increasing tenfold. Wounds inflicted by the Dark Fiend Sword are exceptionally difficult to heal. What a formidable weapon! Yang Lei couldn't help but gasp. This Dark Fiend Sword was truly powerful, even more potent than his own wind-hidden blade. It was an ultimate assassination weapon. Yang Lei recalled how fortunate he had been to slay Sword 10. Firstly, he possessed the true eagle eye. Secondly, Sword 10 likely hadn't fully merged with the Dark Fiend Sword, thus failing to unleash its 100% effectiveness. That was why Yang Lei was able to kill him. Otherwise, if Sword 10 had completely merged with the Dark Fiend Sword and unleashed its tenfold combat power, Yang Lei would absolutely not have been his match. Yang Lei was acutely aware of this point. If not for the Dark Fiend Sword requiring a dark attribute wielder to accept it as master and fully merge with it, Yang Lei would have wanted to equip it himself. However, this Dark Fiend Sword was inherently destined for Chao Xia. It seemed this was entirely heaven's will. Aside from the Dark Fiend Sword, there were no other spoils of war. The silver rank assassin, whose head he had crushed, didn't yield any loot, only 75,000 points. However, having slain 2 assassins this time, his total points had reached 810,000. What surprised Yang Lei was that the mission to ambush gold rank assassins was still incomplete. He had already killed 2 gold rank assassins, so there must be more. However, as the saying goes, 3rd time's the charm, the next gold rank assassin would undoubtedly be far stronger, likely the most formidable among them, a martial emperor at grand completion. As for martial saint level assassins, they were no longer considered gold rank. They transcended the scope of gold rank and belonged to the platinum tier. Even more formidable were assassins at the martial god realm, who were supreme tier assassins. Those capable of hiring supreme tier assassins were exceedingly rare, and their prices were exorbitant. Moreover, supreme tier assassins would not easily make a move. It wasn't simply a matter of paying money for them to act. It depended on their mood, whether the remuneration offered satisfied them, and who the target of assassination was. Furthermore, even if he completed the gold rank assassin mission, the Heavenly Star Pavilion's assassins would likely not cease their pursuit. They might dispatch martial saint level assassins. That would be quite troublesome. Of course, he currently possessed 2 true spirit talismans and 1 great strength Vajra talisman. Coupled with the Heavenly Blade's first stance, he was confident in dealing with a martial saint. So it would only be a nuisance. After all, if a martial saint appeared, he would definitely have to expend his trump cards, and that was not something Yang Lei wished for. The only solution was to find the client and kill them. "Young master, you called for me?" Chao Xia walked up to Yang Lei. Yang Lei nodded slightly, then took out a short sword, the Dark Fiend Sword. "This Dark Fiend Sword is for you. I hope you will not dishonor it." This is for me?" Chao Xia stared in astonishment at the short sword in Yang Lei's hand. She naturally knew this sword was no ordinary item, and moreover, she felt an inexplicable attraction to it. It felt strangely familiar, as if it had always belonged to her. Yang Lei nodded gently. "I obtained this short sword from a martial emperor level assassin I slew. Now I'm entrusting it to you. I hope you can make good use of it. It is a divine artifact. Chausia naturally understood the significance of a divine artifact. On the martial reverence continent, few possessed divine artifacts, they were simply too precious. Young master, I cannot accept this. Such a treasured sword should only be wielded by the young master to fully unleash its power. After some thought, Chausia still refused. Yang Lei smiled upon hearing her words. You don't need to be like that. I have my own weapon. Moreover, this dark fiend sword can only unleash its greatest effect when wielded by someone with a dark attribute. Thus, it is most suitable for you to use. In my hands, it would be a complete waste, I wouldn't even be able to unleash a tenth of its true power. So, don't refuse, just accept it. Hearing this, Chausia excitedly knelt down. Many thanks, young master. Chausia understood well that with such a treasured sword, her strength would vastly increase, bringing her one step closer to the day of her revenge. Yang Lei looked at her, understanding the reason for her excitement. He helped her up, saying, You don't need to be like this, nor do you need to thank me. In truth, I also have selfish motives. The stronger you become, the greater your aid to me. All I ask is for your unwavering loyalty. Young master, I will definitely not let you down nor betray you. Heaven and earth bear witness. If I, Chausia, betray the young master, may I die from 10,000 arrows piercing my heart, and may my soul endure the torment of soul fire day and night, never to transcend rebirth. Seeing Chausia's fervor, Yang Lei was unexpectedly moved. You truly don't need to go to such lengths. As long as you treat me with sincerity, I will certainly treat you in kind. Keep the short sword safe, and remember to drip blood to make it acknowledge you as its master. What surprised Yang Lei was that as he handed the dark fiend sword to Chausia, the blade suddenly glowed with a strange black light. It spontaneously created a small cut on her hand, and the blood instantly trickled onto the sword. Immediately after, it transformed into a streak of black light that vanished into her glabella. A divine weapon choosing its master. Yang Lei was utterly astonished. He hadn't expected Chausia to possess such innate talent, attracting the divine sword to choose her. Once a divine sword chose its master, it meant she had a 100% compatibility with it, allowing her to unleash the full power of the dark fiend sword. Chapter 144, Yang Bing appears. 1. Thank you, young master. About 10 minutes later, Chausia opened her eyes. Cultivate diligently. This is an Earth Origin pill, take it. Yang Lei tossed her another bottle of Earth Origin pills. These Earth Origin pills were nothing to Yang Lei anymore, he could refine them at any time. Of course, he had also begun attempting to refine higher-grade pills. However, when it came to Earth-grade pills, he failed every single time he tried, never achieving success, which left Yang Lei feeling a bit resentful. After Chausia left, Xiaozhu and Chunlan approached, looking at Yang Lei as if they had something to say but were hesitating. Young master, we. Yang Lei chuckled, naturally guessing their thoughts. After all, he had been so good to Chausia, and they seemed a little envious, a little jealous. These pills are for you. Just like her, cultivate diligently. Once you break through to the martial king realm, I will find a way to get each of you a weapon. Once his artifact forging art improved, forging 1 or 2 suitable weapons for the 2 girls would be no problem at all. Moreover, even if he couldn't forge them himself, if he could refine essence blood pills, a few weapons would be a trivial matter. Thank you, young master. Xiaozhu and Chunlan received the pills, smiles blooming on their faces. I don't want you two to harbor jealousy. As long as you cultivate diligently, I won't be stingy with the benefits I give you. Pills are just a small matter. I'm not afraid to tell you, all these pills are refined by me personally. So, as long as you remain loyal to me and cultivate hard, there will be even better pills. However, if you try to play any petty tricks, don't blame me for being ruthless. Yang Lei said, looking at the 2 girls. Xiaozhu and Chunlan exchanged a glance, then raised their hands and swore. Young master, we sisters swear to the heavens that we will be loyal to you for life. Should we betray you, we will die a death of 10,000 insects devouring our hearts. Yang Lei nodded lightly, all right, you two should also go and cultivate diligently. I hope you break through to the Martial King realm soon, otherwise, it would be embarrassing if Sia catches up to you. We will definitely cultivate diligently and break through to the Martial King realm as soon as possible, the two girls exclaimed in unison. Half an hour later. Yang Lei sensed an anomaly in the illusion formation and immediately realized someone had intruded. Activating his true eagle eyes to investigate, he was startled. The intruder was none other than Yang Bing, accompanied by another person. A quick appraisal skill revealed that this person's cultivation was clearly the same as Yang Bing's, Martial Emperor Great Perfection. Wang Zitong, the younger cousin of Wang Zhenjuan from the Wang family, was also a Martial Emperor Great Perfection cultivator. He was a close friend of Yang Bing. Hearing that Yang Bing wanted to avenge his son's death, and considering his own nephew, Wang Kuei, had once been bullied by Yang Lei, the two decided to meet and come together. This was truly troublesome, two Martial Emperor Great Perfection experts. Yang Lei secretly groaned. Two Martial Emperor Great Perfection experts weren't so easy to deal with. His torrential pear blossom needles could only handle one person. In fact, if both of them attacked him with full force, he might not even get a chance to deploy the torrential pear blossom needles. It seemed he could only use the True Spirit Talisman. This True Spirit Talisman was a consumable item, and Yang Lei was reluctant to use it. Alternatively, he could use the Mighty Vajra Talisman, but truthfully, Yang Lei couldn't bear to use it. Moreover, even if he did use the Mighty Vajra Talisman, he wasn't sure if he could resolve both of them within a minute. Therefore, to ensure success, Yang Lei still decided to use the True Spirit Talisman. Only the True Spirit Talisman offered absolute certainty. A Martial Saint Great Perfection expert, for 30 minutes, would be more than enough to deal with these two Martial Emperor Great Perfection cultivators. Meanwhile, Yang Bing and Wang Zitong, who were inside the formation, after wandering aimlessly for a while, finally reacted, realizing they had entered a formation. Damn it, that beast actually set up an illusion formation. Yang Bing slashed out a palm strike into the air, dispelling a charging flying Yiksha illusion, then casually struck down a blood azura. At this moment, Wang Zitong was also extremely anxious. Continuing like this would be very disadvantageous, potentially even exhausting their true chi. Although this illusion formation was a simple, rudimentary one, it was very troublesome for them. Neither of them knew how to break the formation, having no understanding of formations whatsoever. What do we do now? Can you break this illusion formation? Otherwise, if we keep going like this, it will be very difficult to resolve, and we might even exhaust our true chi. Yang Bing was seething with rage. I don't know how to break this damned formation either. That beast, how did he find someone to set up such an illusion formation? Truly infuriating. So what now? I don't know how to break illusion formations either, Wang Zitong said. Yang Bing pondered for a moment and said, the only way is to break it with brute force. Wang Zitong had no other options. Although this method was rather clumsy and consumed true chi, it was the only viable approach. Wang Zitong nodded lightly and said, good. You and I will attack a single point simultaneously. We must blast this formation apart. 1, 2, 3, attack. The two simultaneously exerted 80% of their strength, blasting towards a single point ahead. Both were Martial Emperor Great Perfection cultivators. How terrifying was 80% of their power? How could a rudimentary illusion formation set up by Yang Lei withstand that? In an instant, the illusion formation was blasted apart, revealing the courtyard's true form. Entering the courtyard, Yang Bing laughed maniacally, saying, ha ha ha, it truly dispersed. Little beast, let's see how you'll escape this time. He had originally been afraid of those torrential pear blossom needles. However, Yang Lei had only focused on fleeing afterward, never using them to confront him again. He figured that Yang Lei couldn't possibly have many of such terrifying hidden weapons. Thus, he had prepared a treasure, the Vajra demonic repellent shield. This Vajra demonic repellent shield possessed immense power and could easily block countless poison needles. Yang Bing had expended great effort to acquire it, which was why he dared to come this time after Yang Lei's assassination attempt. Yang Lei chuckled, pulling out a torrential pear blossom needles device. Yang Bing, do you truly wish to test this thing again? It could turn you into a porcupine. Yang Bing instinctively flinched, retreating a few steps. He was very clear about the power of this item. It had instantly killed 2 Martial Emperor experts and 1 Martial King Great Perfection cultivator. equals 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 Chapter 145, Yan Bing's appearance. 2. Do you think I'd fear you? While this item is potent, I possess the Vitra demon subduing umbrella. It can completely block your attack. Go on, try me. Yang Bing retrieved that earth rank, 9th grade Vitra demon subduing umbrella. With a flash of his hand, he instantly unfurled the umbrella, transforming it into a colossal shield. Yang Lei's expression flickered. Damn it, he actually has something that can block my storm of pear blossom needles. He had originally intended to use the storm of pear blossom needles to intimidate Yang Bing, but never expected it to be ineffective. It seemed like heaven's will, a divine decree, that he must use the true spirit talisman. Even if I don't use the storm of pear blossom needles, do you think I can't deal with the two of you? Yang Lei retracted the storm of pear blossom needles and sneered. Humph, what a joke. You little beast, your current strength is merely that of a martial king. Both of us are grand perfection martial emperors, we could crush you with a single finger. Last time you managed to take down those few good-for-nothings, it was only because of that hidden weapon, the storm of pear blossom needles. Now that your hidden weapon is useless, let's see how you die. I'll skin you alive, pluck out your eyes, and extract your liver to appease my son's spirit in the heavens. By the end of his tirade, Yang Bing was grinding his teeth, his hatred erupting. That bastard Yang Tianqing, humph, he deserved to die. And you, old tortoise, wanting revenge for your son is simply a pipe dream. Yang Lei spoke coldly, one hand gripping his wind concealment blade, while the other retrieved the true spirit talisman Yang Yu had given him. Wang Zitong, no longer able to hold back his impatience, brandished his long saber and spoke, Old Yang, stop wasting words with him. Just cut him down. I can also avenge my nephew this way. Your nephew? That imbecile Wang. Kuei, you mean? Humph, he harassed me countless times before. Not killing him was already showing that beast great face. Even his father, that old beast, didn't manage to reclaim his prestige, so how dare you, another beast, even try? But today, I'm afraid you're destined to die here. Yang Lei wore a smile, yet his words were utterly merciless. Arg! I'll tear you to shreds, tear you to shreds. Wang Zitong exploded in rage upon hearing this, brandishing his long saber with both hands as he charged furiously at Yang Lei. Yang Lei observed, realizing that this fellow was a classic example of someone with a simple mind and robust physique. If it were just him, Yang Lei wouldn't even need to use the true spirit talisman. However, Yang Bing was still there. That old fox was not easy to deal with. Hence, he had no choice but to use the true spirit talisman. Meanwhile, Yang Bing saw Wang Zitong charging forward so recklessly, his temper easily provoked. He cursed inwardly, fool. But there was nothing for it, he had to charge as well, aiming for a quick victory. Otherwise, if those old geezers arrived, not only would he be unable to kill Yang Lei, he might even lose his own life. Watching the two charge, Yang Lei snorted coldly, sending out an ice-fire talisman, then crushing the true spirit talisman Yang Yu had given him. The moment the true spirit talisman shattered, Yang Yu's image instantly materialized. A true spirit talisman. Yang Yu. How can this be? How is this possible? Yang Yu broke through grand perfection martial saint and entered the martial god realm, this. Seeing Yang Yu's projected image, Yang Bing was scared out of his wits. Even if it wasn't Yang Yu's true body, it was still utterly terrifying. This was a true spirit talisman. A true spirit talisman could unleash the full power of a grand perfection martial saint. Though its duration was limited, its might was extraordinarily dreadful, far beyond what a mere grand perfection martial emperor like him could handle. Yang Yu's true spirit projection was not far from his true self in power, but its aura seemed even more dominant and formidable. Yang Bing, you have quite the audacity. To dare attempt to assassinate my son, and collude with outsiders, such brazenness. Today, I shall cleanse the Yang family of its disgrace. Cleanse the family? Humph, you want me dead? Then I'll first kill your son, that little beast Yang Lei. Yang Bing knew full well he was no match for Yang Yu. He retrieved 3 crimson pills and swallowed them. Yang Lei's eyes widened at the sight. This guy truly has a death wish, those are berserk pills. A single one can boost battle prowess 40-fold, and he just ingested 3, which would stack to a staggering 120-fold increase in battle prowess. However, once the medicinal effects wore off, he would be crippled, if not dead. At the same time, Wang Zitong also swallowed a similar pill, though he only took one. Berserk pills. I didn't expect you to possess so many. But what good will it do? Even with 3 berserk pills boosting your battle prowess by 120 times, you are still no match for me. As he spoke, Yang Yu unleashed a punch. This single punch caused the surrounding air to ripple violently, shattering the darkness like a miniature sun, and hurtling towards Yang Bing. Brother Wang, you deal with that little beast Yang Lei. I'll hold off Yang Yu for now. You must kill him to quell the hatred in my heart. Yang Bing bellowed, and instead of evading, he lunged towards that miniature sun-like fist, unleashing a massive fist imprint of his own. The 2 fists collided, sending out shockwaves of chi energy. The entire ground trembled. Trees in the courtyard snapped segment by segment, and the flagstones underfoot flew up, shattering into dust. Where the explosion erupted, a massive circular crater appeared, testifying to the immense power of that single move. On the other side, Wang Zitong's face was grimacing fiercely as he glared at Yang Lei. Brat, your time has come. To kill me, you'll need more than just empty threats. Yang Lei sneered, unfurled his wings, and launched himself into the air. Old beast, come on. Fly up here. Yang Lei shouted from midair. Arg. I'll kill you, you little beast. A grand perfection martial emperor could indeed fly, but not for long, as it consumed an enormous amount of energy. Provoked by Yang Lei's taunts, how could Wang Zitong possibly hold back? He instantly shot up from the ground, swinging his long saber in the forceful split of Mount Hua move, cleaving towards Yang Lei. The elongated saber glow sent shivers down one's spine. However, Yang Lei showed no fear. With a flutter of his wings, he instantly retreated several meters. He then struck out with his own blade, his saber strike shattering the lingering chi energy. But this residual chi energy was no joke. It sent a tremor through Yang Lei's body, almost causing him to fall. Yang Lei gave a wry smile. He had still underestimated the might of a grand perfection martial emperor. If both of them attacked him simultaneously, he would have no choice but to die. Equals 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 Chapter 146, Grievously Wounded. 1. Arg. Wang Zitong knew nothing of these thoughts. His hatred for Yang Lei had pierced him to the bone. Wielding his long saber, he charged once more. You beast, how dare you! At this moment, Yang Yu suddenly roared, extending a finger. A golden ray shot towards Wang Zitong. Wang Zitong's ears twitched, he shifted his saber, cutting at the golden light. He barely managed to strike the golden ray, but his body trembled, and he slowly staggered back onto the ground. Yang Yu's true spirit was only at the Martial Saint Grand Completion realm, but just how formidable was a Martial Saint Grand Completion expert? Even a mere finger's chi force was not so easily withstood. A chance. Seeing Wang Zitong wounded, Yang Lei knew this was his opportunity. He spread his wings, his speed instantly multiplying several-fold. In a single breath, he arrived before Wang Zitong. Wind saber 7 slashes, 5 slashes combined. That single saber strike condensed all of Yang Lei's power, unleashed unexpectedly against Wang Zitong. The saber flashed like a streak of lightning tearing through the sky. Wang Zitong's reaction was truly swift. After all, he was a martial emperor grand completion expert, how could he be easily dealt with? His figure swayed, his eyes narrowing slightly. At this moment, Wang Zitong no longer appeared dull or reckless as before. Instead, he revealed keen intelligence, a sharp glint appearing in his eyes. He flexed his arms, long, lean muscles like steel, containing immense power, delivering a tremendous shock that far surpassed any bodybuilder Yang Lei had encountered on Earth. Mongshan strength, one saber cleaves rivers and seas. Yang Lei was stunned. The might of that strike was absolutely not something he could withstand. Dodge, dodge, dodge. Great Earth Vajra Talisman. Iron cloth shirt. Retreat, 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 retreat further. Yang Lei frantically flapped his wings, simultaneously dodging and retreating. No, still not enough. Can't block it. Great Might Vajra Talisman, activate. Feeling that he couldn't block this move, Yang Lei had no other choice and immediately crushed the Great Might Vajra Talisman. His combat power instantly increased 100-fold. At this moment, Yang Lei felt his entire body brimming with strength. Even if a martial saint were to arrive, he could still fight to the death. Against this attack from Wang Zitong, he had previously felt utterly powerless to resist, sensing his own impending destruction, but now he didn't give it any thought. Wind Saber 7 slashes, 6 slashes combined. The hundredfold combat power allowed Yang Lei to unleash the Wind Saber 7 slashes, 6 slashes combined. 6 slashes combined could boost combat power by 6 times 6, 36-fold. Combined with the previous hundredfold increase, it was a total increase of 3,600 times his combat power. As for Wang Zitong, who was originally a martial emperor grand completion expert, after consuming the berserk pill, at best he was only close to the early martial saint stage. Furthermore, he had been injured by Yang Yu's finger earlier, his combat power significantly diminished. Therefore, at this moment, Yang Lei didn't even put him in his eyes. Yang Lei's saber strike was faster, stronger, and more violent than his opponent's. Boom, the two forces collided. Yang Lei's saber energy was denser and more powerful, directly shattering Wang Zitong's saber energy. It didn't stop, the massive saber light surged towards Wang Zitong. Wang Zitong's eyes immediately widened, filled with disbelief. He knew he had consumed the berserk pill, increasing his strength 40-fold and temporarily reaching the martial saint realm. He never imagined he would be defeated by a mere fledgling youth who had just entered the martial king realm, not even reaching the martial sovereign realm. Yang Lei's strike effortlessly shattered Wang Zitong's body, transforming him into a mist of blood that scattered in all directions. Ding! Congratulations to player for killing Martial Emperor Grand Completion Realm Wang Zitong. EXP plus 90 million, G cultivation value plus 900,000, accumulation points plus 900,000. Ding! Congratulations to player for obtaining Mongshan strength. Ding! Congratulations to player for obtaining 1 berserk pill. Ding! Congratulations to player, level increased. Phew! Yang Lei let out a long breath. Having killed Wang Zitong, his cultivation once again increased, reaching martial sovereign stage 2. Meanwhile, the battle between Yang Bing and Yang Yu also reached a critical juncture. When Yang Bing saw Yang Lei kill Wang Zitong so dominantly, with such a terrifying strike, his soul was utterly terrified. He was already struggling immensely against Yang Yu, and now another monstrous young beast had appeared. How could he possibly bear it? Yang Bing's eyes flashed, and he lunged towards Yang Lei, completely disregarding Yang Yu's attack. Yang Yu saw this and thought, not good. He hastily flashed forward to block Yang Bing, shouting, "Run! Run quickly! He's going to self-detonate. Go as far as you can." Yang Lei heard this and cursed inwardly. He couldn't possibly go towards the room, as Xia Zhu, Chen Lan, and Chao Siya were inside. So he spread his wings and flew outwards with incredible speed. Compared to before, his speed was 100-fold faster due to the talisman. But Yang Bing, driven by a frenzied intent to resist, actually erupted with astonishing combat power once more, forcefully breaking free from Yang Yu's entanglement, and pursued Yang Lei with astonishing speed that left one speechless. Yang Lei was startled beyond measure. This fellow's speed clearly surpassed his own, and seemed 3/10 faster. Yang Lei knew clearly that if he could just persevere for 1 minute, victory would absolutely be his. Yang Bing was now in a berserk state, on the verge of his life's end. This was merely a final, desperate surge. A death-throw frenzy was terrifyingly powerful. "You little beast, even if I die, I'll drag you down with me. You won't escape, haha. Haha. I'll drag you down, die. Die with me, come with me." Yang Bing laughed maniacally. Then Yang Bing's entire body exploded. The shockwave was clearly like an atomic bomb explosion. The surrounding air was instantly torn apart, creating a massive vacuum. This raging energy surged directly towards Yang Lei, with Yang Lei's position being the primary direction of attack. This wild energy made Yang Lei gasp for breath. Boom, 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 Wind Saber 7 slashes, 6 slashes combined. Yang Lei roared, his wind-concealed saber appearing as he slashed forward with a single strike, exerting his full power. This single strike nearly drained all his strength. Rumble, 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 Yang Bing's self-detonation chi force dissipated considerably, but it had not entirely vanished. It continued to surge towards Yang Lei. By now, Yang Lei had no strength left to resist. He could only watch helplessly as the chi force completely engulfed him. Equals 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 Chapter 147, Severely Injured. 2. Upon witnessing this, Yang Yu's spirit almost fled his body. If Yang Lei were to die like this, what was he to do? How could he ever face his mother, having failed her solemn entrustment? If Yang Lei died, and his mother returned to demand answers, the entire Yang clan might face annihilation. Yang Lei absolutely could not be allowed to perish. Yang Yu soared to the spot where Yang Bing had self-destructed. Cough, cough. Cough, cough. At this moment, Yang Lei struggled to get up, a trail of blood trickling from the corner of his lips. His clothes were shredded, leaving only a few tattered strips of fabric, and his entire body was covered in countless wounds and bloodstains. You're unharmed. This is truly wonderful. Seeing Yang Lei stand, Yang Yu was overwhelmed with emotion. Cough, cough, still not dead, Yang Lei coughed out a few mouthfuls of bloody spittle, but in his heart, he secretly grumbled in misery. At this moment, most of his meridians were damaged. He didn't know how long it would take to heal. If not for cultivating the Iron Shirt technique, Volume 2, he would have truly lost this time. Yang Yu naturally understood that Yang Lei was severely injured. The terrifying explosion energy, and yet Yang Lei hadn't died. But not dying certainly meant he was gravely wounded. Yang Bing was originally a peak martial emperor, and he had consumed 3 berserker pills, increasing his combat strength by 120 times. His cultivation was comparable to a late-stage martial saint. This meant Yang Bing's self-destruction was equivalent to a late-stage martial saint expert's self-destruction, an unimaginable power. Even if Yang Bing had exhausted a significant amount of energy, reaching a state of utter depletion, it was still at least equivalent to an early-stage martial saint's self-destruction. An early-stage martial saint's self-destruction was comparable to a late-stage martial saint's full-force strike, yet Yang Lei had managed to withstand it. This completely exceeded Yang Yu's expectations, but he was also incredibly fortunate. If Yang Lei had died just like that, that would have been a truly enormous problem. Sit down, I will treat your injuries, Yang Yu said. Yang Lei knew that now was not the time to act stubborn. Hearing this, he sat cross-legged and consumed 3 origin reversion pills. Yang Yu didn't ask further. Seeing Yang Lei sit cross-legged and take the pills, he placed both palms on his back. A powerful true qi flowed into Yang Lei's body, dissolving the medicinal properties of the 3 pills and continuously clearing his obstructed meridians. 10 minutes later, Yang Yu withdrew his true qi. The rest is up to you. My true spirit's time has come to an end. Yang Lei nodded slightly, signaling his understanding. At this moment, Xia Zhu, Chen Lan, and Chao Xia had already rushed to Yang Lei's side. Seeing Yang Lei in such a miserable state, they couldn't help but be worried. Young master, how are you feeling now? Xia Zhu asked. Help me back, Yang Lei said. Although he had recovered a little, he was far from being able to walk on his own and needed assistance. The 3 women nodded. One on each side, they supported Yang Lei as they slowly walked toward the courtyard. At this time, Xixing residence was also ruined beyond recognition, as if it had suffered a great storm. The entire courtyard bore no resemblance to its previous appearance. However, the good news was that only the outer courtyard was damaged. Although the inner courtyard was also affected, it wasn't severely so. Yang Lei was supported by the 3 women into the room. Then, he waved his hand, signaling them to leave. Xia Zhu and the others knew that Yang Lei's injuries were too severe and he needed to heal and recover. So, they closed the door, but they didn't leave. The 3 women stood guard outside the door, acting as protectors for Yang Lei. At this moment, Yang Lei had already closed his eyes and entered a state of inner contemplation. His entire body's meridians were damaged. Although Yang Yu had helped, the injuries were still very serious and could not be fully recovered in a short time. The profound origin secret art continuously circulated, completing one grand cycle, then another. The true qi generated by the profound origin secret art continuously repaired the damaged meridians in his body, healing his injuries. Half an hour later, Yang Lei opened his eyes. His injuries had recovered by almost half, but he was still far from a complete recovery. Since his injuries couldn't fully heal on their own, he could only exchange for healing pills. Looking at the available healing pills, the Snowmelt Spirit pill was good before, but his current injuries were much more severe than last time. Although the Snowmelt Spirit Pill was good, it might not be enough for a complete recovery. The Snow Mountain Jade Toad Pellet. That left only the Snow Mountain Jade Toad Pellet. Of course, the Great Restoration Pill was also an option, but compared to the Great Restoration Pill, the Snow Mountain Jade Toad Pellet was more suitable. The Snow Mountain Jade Toad Pellet, an Earth-rank 8th grade pill, could quickly heal injuries. This Snow Mountain Jade Toad Pellet required 250,000 points to exchange, but for Yang Lei now, this value of 250,000 points was not too much. Having just killed Wan Zitong, that peak martial emperor expert, Yang Lei's points had already reached 1,710,000. Unfortunately, Yang Bing had died by self-destruction, not by Yang Lei's hand, so Yang Lei did not gain any experience points, EXP, or cultivation points from Yang Bing's death. Ding. Do you wish to exchange for the Earth-rank 8th grade immortal healing medicine, Snow Mountain Jade Toad Pellet? Exchange. Ding. Congratulations, player, you have acquired the Snow Mountain Jade Toad Pellet. Hearing the system's prompt, Yang Lei took out the Snow Mountain Jade Toad Pellet. Looking at the crystal-clear white pellet in his hand, Yang Lei couldn't help but curse the system as a blood-sucking fiend. Such a small pill cost 250,000 points. If he hadn't made a small fortune recently, he truly wouldn't have been able to part with it. After consuming the Snow Mountain Jade Toad Pellet, a gentle medicinal power immediately flowed into his body, spreading to his limbs and myriad meridians, continuously healing his injuries until fully restored. The Snow Mountain Jade Toad Pellet was truly worthy of being called an immortal healing medicine. Its healing speed was 100 times faster than before he consumed it. At this rate, he would recover in no time, likely by morning, he should be fully recovered. Yang Lei discarded all distracting thoughts and began to focus wholeheartedly on healing. 3 hours later, Yang Lei opened his eyes. At this moment, his cultivation had fully recovered, and had even made some slight progress. His internal injuries were almost completely healed, with only minor issues remaining. His injuries were almost completely healed. On the other side, he checked the spoils of war. This time, he had used one True Spirit Talisman and one Mighty Vajra Talisman, which made Yang Lei's heart ache greatly. These two talismans couldn't even be exchanged with cultivation points. Equals 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 Chapter 148, Refining the Blood Essence Pill. The True Spirit Talisman, needless to say, contained a trace of a martial god's true spirit. Its creation came at an immense cost. For a high-level martial god expert to forge a single True Spirit Talisman meant they would need 1 to 2 years to recover, greatly impacting their cultivation. Furthermore, it would deplete a strand of their blood essence. For cultivators, blood essence signified lifespan. For martial gods, especially those with higher cultivation, blood essence was their life root. Ample blood essence meant ample lifespan, and ample lifespan meant the potential to break through to higher realms. For cultivators of that caliber, the pursuit of higher realms was paramount, everything else was but fleeting clouds. Thus, this True Spirit Talisman was extraordinarily precious, even more so than those supreme-grade spirit artifacts. Yet, this single True Spirit Talisman, along with a great Strength Vajra Talisman, had only been exchanged for a Berserker Pill and a partial cultivation technique, the Python Mountain Force. Yang Lei inwardly cursed the massive loss. That Berserker Pill only boosted combat power 40-fold and came with severe side effects, far inferior to the great Strength Vajra Talisman. Still, it could prove useful in critical moments. The Python Mountain Force, however, was a decent cultivation technique. Python Mountain Force, Incomplete Scroll, Earth Tier 9th grade cultivation technique. Once mastered, it grants the power to move mountains and overturn seas, one of the Wang family's inherited peerless arts. It was clearly an incomplete scroll, yet even this remnant had reached Earth Tier 9th grade. Yang Lei couldn't help but widen his eyes. If this were the complete Python Mountain Force, wouldn't it be a Heaven Tier cultivation technique, a divine grade martial art? Should he learn it or not? The problem was that the Python Mountain Force was incomplete. If it were whole, Yang Lei would learn it without hesitation, but as a partial scroll, he didn't know if it carried any side effects. After some thought, Yang Lei decided not to learn it for now, to set it aside and revisit it later when he had time. Having finished everything, Yang Lei felt a touch of weariness. Although his injuries had healed, his spirit was extremely exhausted. So, Yang Lei lay down on the bed and fell asleep shortly after. Upon waking, Yang Lei felt refreshed. His previous fatigue had vanished, and his injuries were, of course, completely recovered. After his recent experience in a bloodbath battle, his cultivation had subtly advanced. After breakfast, Yang Lei instructed Xia Zhu to find someone to repair the courtyard, while he himself prepared to refine the blood essence pill. Looking at the medicinal ingredients Xiao Yu had prepared for him, Yang Lei saw 15 stalks of blood essence grass. These were rare herbs. Consuming a single stalk could increase one's cultivation by 30 years, something ordinary martial artists yearned for. He hadn't expected Xiao Yu to produce 15 stalks all at once, leading Yang Lei to sigh in admiration at his grand gesture. These 15 stalks of blood essence grass were comparable in value to a divine artifact. He consulted the pill formula. The blood essence pill's formula wasn't overly complex. However, it had extremely strict requirements regarding the order of ingredient addition and precise timing. Even a minute discrepancy, a second of error, would lead to failure in refinement. This was why it was exceedingly difficult to refine a perfect 10-tenths blood essence pill. Such control was beyond even a 9th-grade alchemist, achievable only by a 10th-grade alchemist or higher. Yet, on the Chongwu continent today, no alchemist had ever been rumored to break through to 10th grade. Even old ancestor Zhao had only recently entered 9th grade, and even at his 9th grade alchemist realm, refining a 9-tenths pill was somewhat difficult, while refining a perfect 10-tenths pill was simply impossible. However, for Yang Lei, this was no difficulty at all. With the system's control, he could perfectly meet all requirements. With everything prepared, Yang Lei began refining pills. For his first refinement, to ensure success, Yang Lei added a purple dew fruit. After all, the blood essence pill was no ordinary elixir, failure would be a regrettable waste. Alchemy skill. Ding. Congratulations to player for successfully refining a blood essence pill. EXP plus 100 million, Qigong value plus 1 million, accumulation value plus 1 million. Proficiency increased. Ding. Congratulations to player. Alchemy skill has leveled up. Success on the very first try. Yang Lei was overjoyed. Moreover, the EXP reward was so generous, and his alchemy skill had leveled up as well, a truly unexpected delight. His alchemy skill had gone from intermediate to advanced. How long had it been? Advancing to advanced alchemy skill meant he could now refine earth tier pills. A perfect 10-tenths earth tier pill, just how incredibly potent would that be? Pills like the minor rejuvenation pill and snow melt spirit pill, he could now refine them himself, provided he obtained their formulas. Although the success rate would still be extremely low, merely being able to refine them was a tremendous breakthrough. Now that Yang Lei had reached advanced alchemy skill, refining profound tier pills no longer posed a risk of failure. The absolute success rate would reach 60%. With the addition of the purple dragon cauldron, the success rate for profound tier pills would be 70% or higher. Of course, this only referred to refining perfect 10-tenths pills. For Yang Lei, refining an 8-tenths pill was considered a failure, only pills refined to at least 9-tenths were deemed successful. He then inspected the refined blood essence pills. From this batch, a total of 10 pills were formed. 2 were 9-tenths pills, considered waste pills and thus a failed refinement, while the other 8 were perfect 10-tenths pills. In other words, this refining session yielded a total of 8 blood essence pills. Blood essence pill, profound tier 9th grade, 10-tenths pill. 1 blood essence pill can extend lifespan by 20 years. Extremely precious. Yang Lei couldn't help but drool. A single blood essence pill could extend one's life by 20 years. This was simply monstrous to the extreme. If he consumed more, wouldn't he achieve immortality? However, Yang Lei noticed that one of the 8 blood essence pills appeared particularly unique. He took out that especially unique blood essence pill and activated his appraisal art. Earth tier 1st grade blood essence pill, 10-tenths pill. 1 pill can extend lifespan by 50 years. Yang Lei rubbed his head. It seemed the blood essence pills also had different grades. This one was an Earth tier 1st grade blood essence pill, while the others were profound tier 9th grade. Though only a single grade apart, the difference in lifespan extension was a full 30 years. Equals 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 Chapter 149, crafting concealment talismans. 1. On the Sungbu continent, ordinary people had a lifespan of around 100 years. Those who reached the martial master realm could live up to 150 years. Martial kings could reach 200 years, while martial emperors gained another 50 years of life, making their lifespan 250 years. As for martial sovereigns, they could live for 300 years. Martial saints could attain a lifespan of 500 years, and martial gods, 800 years. Of course, these were not absolute figures, but rather approximate estimations. Thus, for some who stood on the verge of a breakthrough but lacked sufficient lifespan, a single blood essence pill was undeniably crucial. Many cultivators could potentially break through within 10 or 20 years, but simply didn't possess that much remaining lifespan. In such circumstances, the immense value of a blood essence pill for them was beyond imagination. Consuming one set of medicinal ingredients to refine 8 blood essence pills was already an excellent outcome. Yang Lei had originally considered refining more, but after a moment's thought, he decided against it. One shouldn't be overly greedy, there was no guarantee of success. In a second attempt. Staring at the 10 perfection blood essence pills, Yang Lei then glanced at the 9 perfection ones. Zhao Yu had once mentioned that only 10 perfection blood essence pills could be consumed to extend lifespan. Anything less than 10 perfection would be a potent poison, consuming it would completely cripple one's cultivation, deplete their lifespan, and lead to death. These 2 pills hadn't achieved 10 perfection, yet they were different. Unlike the translucent, dark red hue of the blood essence pills, these were pale yellow. Activating his appraisal skill, the result utterly startled Yang Lei. These were not blood essence pills, but another type of medicinal pill, named Essence Force pills. Essence Force pill, a profound tier 8th grade medicinal pill. Upon consumption, cultivators below the martial saint realm can maintain a peak state for 1 hour, regardless of how much energy they expend, with no side effects. Yang Lei was flabbergasted. Was this even possible? To consume it and maintain a peak state for an hour, no matter how much energy was expended, was truly heaven-defying. But why had Zhao Yu told him that blood essence pills that weren't 10 perfection were poisonous? He looked closer and saw a small line of text beneath. Essence Force pill, a byproduct created during the refinement of blood essence pills. Only now did Yang Lei understand. So, these Essence Force pills weren't failed blood essence pills, but rather a byproduct produced during their refinement. While they didn't possess the outrageous lifespan extending properties, they were certainly not simple. To be able to maintain peak output for an hour without any side effects, this pill was comparable to Earth-tier medicinal pills. A good item, absolutely a good item. Yang Lei carefully put them away, secretly congratulating himself. He was lucky he hadn't discarded these 2 waste pills earlier, otherwise, he would have suffered a huge loss. This type of pill was undoubtedly a supreme grade among supreme grades, a truly marvelous aid for roaming the Jianghu, worth even raiding homes to acquire. These Essence Force pills were definitely more potent than the Earth Origin pills previously auctioned. If put up for auction, people would probably fight fiercely over them. But Yang Lei would never sell them. He only had 2 such pills, it was a joke. He didn't even have enough for himself, so how could he possibly sell them? After finishing the pill refinement, Yang Lei let out a sigh of relief. He checked the system, his current accumulated points had reached 2.36 million. With 2.36 million points, he could exchange for many things. His current life-preserving methods were far too few. If he were to face 2 grand completion martial sovereigns again, with only the Berserker pill, he absolutely wouldn't be able to bear it. Therefore, he had to exchange for some good items. Naturally, what he desired most was the 3rd volume of the Iron Cloth Shirt technique. So, as soon as he checked the system, Yang Lei immediately navigated to the section for Iron Cloth Shirt Volume 3. However, to Yang Lei's disappointment, Iron Cloth Shirt Volume 3 was not displayed within the system's exchange interface. But the Little Flying Dagger technique was available for exchange. He currently had 2.36 million accumulated points, and a single manual for the Little Flying Dagger was only 250,000. Today, Yang Lei could truly be called a magnate. Ding. Player, do you wish to exchange for the Little Flying Dagger? Exchange. Ding. Congratulations, player, you have acquired the Little Flying Dagger cultivation technique. Ding. Congratulations, player, you have acquired the Supreme Grade Spirit Artifact, Little Flying Dagger. Hearing the system notification, Yang Lei thought he had misheard. There was actually a bonus. He had merely exchanged for the Little Flying Dagger manual, yet he unexpectedly received a flying dagger as well, and what's more, this flying dagger was a supreme-grade spirit artifact. Was the system having a massive clearance sale today? Regardless, this was a good thing. Not taking advantage of a good deal would simply be foolish. Little Flying Dagger, cultivated to its utmost limit, it can cleave through the void, breaking through the barriers of time and space. Its power continuously increases as the cultivator's cultivation improves. Seeing this, Yang Lei couldn't help but gasp. So formidable. Cultivated to its utmost, it could actually cleave through the void and break through the limitations of time and space. This was truly terrifying to hear. However, Yang Lei knew clearly that reaching such a level was absolutely beyond his current understanding. Cultivated to its utmost limit, what realm exactly did this ultimate limit refer to? It was an entirely empty concept. Therefore, the true power of this Little Flying Dagger would only be known after he had learned it. And that flying dagger made Yang Lei's eyes light up. It possessed growth attributes. Furthermore, it also had a chance to trigger a one-hit kill, even slightly stronger than his wind concealment saber. The one-hit kill chance reached 1,000th, significantly higher than the wind concealment saber's 1/10,000th chance. Ding! Congratulations, player, you have learned the Little Flying Dagger. Ding! The supreme-grade spirit artifact, Little Flying Dagger, has automatically bound itself. Compatibility has reached 100%. This system notification instantly stunned Yang Lei. To be able to bind itself, normally, only divine artifacts possessed such a capability. Yet, this Little Flying Dagger, merely a supreme-grade spirit artifact, had actually bound itself automatically. His previous wind concealment saber hadn't done so. Could this flying dagger possess some unique peculiarity? He held it in his hand, examining it closely, assessing it for a long time, but found nothing. Yang Lei could only give up for now. Having learned the Little Flying Dagger, Yang Lei wasn't in a hurry to test it. Instead, he continued with his exchanges. Because he had been severely injured twice before, Yang Lei intended to exchange for more healing medicinal pills this time. Among them, the Snow Mountain Jade Toad Pellet had relatively good effects, and the 9-flower Jade Dew Pellet was also quite decent. Chapter 150 Crafting Invisibility Talismans. 2. Having spent 250,000 points to redeem a Snow Mountain Jade Toad Pill, Yang Lei then spent another 300,000 points to redeem 2 9-flower Jade Dew Pills. These 3 pills alone cost him 550,000 points. However, Yang Lei didn't begrudge it, as these were life-saving items, having a few more on hand provided greater security. By this calculation, he had suddenly splurged 800,000 points. Of his 2,360,000 points, only 1,560,000 remained, they were spent like flowing water. However, the next item made Yang Lei's eyes gleam with desire. It was a longsword. The White Dragon Sword. This sword was a peak-grade spirit artifact, capable of manifesting a true dragon to fight, its power boundless. However, it required the White Dragon bloodline to acknowledge it as master and unleash its full potential. Yang Lei naturally didn't believe he possessed the White Dragon bloodline. The reason for his desire was not for his own use, but for his maidservant, Bai Su Zhan, who had yet to awaken. Once Bai Su Zhan awakened, she would be a true saint beast. Her strength would absolutely be capable of defeating an early-stage martial saint, and might even be able to defeat a mid-stage martial saint. After all, Bai Su Zhan was not human, she was a demonic beast. Strictly speaking, once a demonic beast could transform into human form, it could also be called a demon. Bai Su Zhan was transformed from a white snake, and Yang Lei speculated that she should possess the White Dragon bloodline. This White Dragon Sword should be able to acknowledge her as master. If she could wield the White Dragon Sword, her strength would undoubtedly increase significantly. Her increase in strength was naturally akin to his own increase in strength, there was little difference. Since she had acknowledged him as her master, she would absolutely never betray him. Looking further. This White Dragon Sword required 300,000 points, which wasn't considered much. However, since Bai Su Zhan had not yet awakened, there was no need to redeem it now. After all, the white dragon sword wouldn't run away. Putting aside the white dragon sword, he continued to browse. The next talisman crafting method made Yang Lei's eyes light up. This talisman was extremely useful and powerful. It was perfect for peeking at beauties bathing, and of course, it was also exceedingly powerful for dealing with enemies or for escape. It was the invisibility talisman. This invisibility talisman was an Earth-tier first-grade talisman. Although its invisibility duration wasn't long, only half an hour, one should not underestimate this half hour. A lot could be accomplished in half an hour. This invisibility talisman not only made the body disappear but also completely erased one's aura. It was true disappearance. However, there was one regrettable point: when using the invisibility talisman, if an attack was initiated, the invisibility talisman would lose its effect. In other words, this invisibility talisman could only be used in a non-combat state. Once a fight began, unless it was used for escape or to seize an opportunity for a sneak attack, it would fail. But even so, it was already a heaven-defying item. Even a martial god realm expert might not be able to perceive this invisibility talisman, unless they transcended the martial god realm. Therefore, this invisibility talisman absolutely had to be redeemed, and many of them crafted. If he couldn't win, he could flee. Using an invisibility talisman to escape was an excellent solution. This invisibility talisman crafting method required 500,000 points to redeem. This was quite expensive, but it was well worth it. Ding. Does player wish to redeem the crafting method for the invisibility talisman? Redeem. Ding. Congratulations to player for obtaining the crafting method for the invisibility talisman. After again spending 500,000 points to acquire this invisibility talisman crafting method, he had now spent a total of 1,300,000 points. Today, only 1,006,000 points remained. He had used up more than half in one go. Since he wanted to craft invisibility talismans, Yang Lei spent another 60,000 points to redeem some high-grade talisman paper and cinnabar for crafting talismans. Crafting invisibility talismans absolutely could not be done carelessly. His points now stood at 1 million. With 1 million points remaining, he looked to see if there was anything else he could redeem. After all, there were still gold rank assassins awaiting him. Of course, Yang Lei guessed that once he dealt with all the gold rank assassins, there definitely wouldn't be more powerful platinum rank assassins. This was because Heavenly Star Pavilion had a rule: for every increase in the assassin's rank, the bounty must increase. Since the bounty for the client, Yang Bing, had already been listed, it was naturally impossible to increase the bounty again. Therefore, if the third gold rank assassin's assassination attempt failed, it was unlikely that assassins would be sent again. So, as long as it was helpful, Yang Lei would redeem it. Of course, he would ultimately reserve at least 300,000 points as a contingency, to deal with unforeseen circumstances. No matter what he did, he should always leave himself an escape route. This was essential. Great strength Vajra pill. Yang Lei couldn't help but be taken aback. Wasn't this the pill version of the Great Strength Vajra talisman? A strength-boosting medicine, not bad, not bad. He checked its attributes and discovered that while this Great Strength Vajra pill wasn't as outrageously powerful as the Great Strength Vajra talisman, which could boost combat power by 100-fold, it was still excellent, capable of amplifying combat power by 20-fold. Redeem. This definitely needed to be redeemed. It required 500,000 points. This also needed 500,000 points. Fortunately, it was a pill formula. If it were just a single Great Strength Vajra pill, then there would be no need to redeem it. 500,000 points was acceptable. Redeem. Ding. Congratulations to player for obtaining the Great Strength Vajra pill formula. This Great Strength Vajra pill was also an Earth-tier first-grade pill. If his pill refining technique hadn't advanced to the high level, he wouldn't have been able to refine it. The main ingredient for this Great Strength Vajra pill was demonic cores of rank 6 demonic beasts and above. The higher the demonic core's rank, the better the refined pill, and the higher its grade. Asterisk: a brief explanation here: for pill formulas and talisman crafting methods, the stated grade refers to the minimum grade of the pills or talismans refined or crafted. In other words, if the Great Strength Vajra pill formula is Earth-tier first grade, then the lowest grade pill refined will be Earth-tier first grade. If better materials are used, such as demonic cores of higher rank, The refined pills will also be of higher grade, potentially Earth Tier 2nd grade or 3rd grade, not necessarily just Earth Tier 1st grade.